Chapter 10:15. I'm glad you're fine. The North Vanquishing King squeezed out a smile. Xia was by his side the whole time. Grandpa Xia, Du Xiaofu didn't know what to say as he looked at the old man in front of him. You don't have to say anything. I understand. The North Vanquishing King's pale face carried a smile. I may be old, but my heart isn't. This has nothing to do with you. You don't have to feel guilty. If it wasn't for the desolate country, I don't know how many innocent people would have suffered. Du Xiaofu walked up to the old man and helped him sit down. He said, Grandpa Xia, if there's anything I can do, I'll do it. The North Vanquishing King raised his head and looked at Du Xiaofu. After a few seconds, he glanced at the other kings and said to Du Xiaofu, if you really want to, then don't let the Stone Dragon Empire fall into the hands of the 8 countries. We've already discussed this. The other kings will fully support you. Du Xiaofu looked at the North Vanquishing King, the East Vanquishing King, and the South Vanquishing King in front of him. He didn't say anything. Xiaofu, we've already thought about it. Now that the Stone Dragon Empire has fallen into the hands of the 8 countries, if you really want to, then let the Stone Dragon Empire fall into the hands of the desolate country. After all, the desolate country's surname is Du. They have the same bloodline as the Du household. It's better than letting it fall into the hands of outsiders. The South Vanquishing King said to Du Xiaofu. The North Vanquishing King raised his head and gently patted Du Xiaofu's hand. He said earnestly, Xiaofu, if you have the ability now, remember to avenge the dead souls of the Stone Dragon Empire. It'll be the wish of us old men. We won't be able to avenge the dead souls of the Stone Dragon Empire, I'll remember this. They'll have to pay the price one day. Du Xiaofu nodded. His tone was flat, but his clear eyes were firm, and a wisp of sharpness flashed past before it was silently restrained. Half a month had passed since the destruction of the Stone Dragon Empire. The old kings had calmed down a little. Du Xiaofu felt that the old kings should be fine. He chatted with them for a while and urged them to take some pills to heal their injuries before leaving. At this moment, a shocking piece of news spread throughout the Stone City. Murong Yorua of the World Society took advantage of the Rock Emperor's closed-door cultivation to bring chaos to the desolate country, hindering the dispatch of troops to rescue the Stone Dragon Empire, causing the Stone Dragon Empire to be invaded by foreign enemies. Blood flowed like rivers, and wails were everywhere. I am hereby expelled from the World Society. The Rock Emperor decrees to take in and rescue all refugees. When this news came out, it immediately caused an uproar in Stone City, and the news quickly spread. The strange thing was that this news seemed to have spread to many places within the Stone Dragon Empire at the same time. The Rock Emperor has returned. Our Courage King has returned. It turns out that everything was caused by Murong Yorua. The Courage King didn't abandon us. As soon as this news spread, the mournful Stone Dragon Empire was in an uproar. Some people who were in despair suddenly felt hopeful. We beg the Rock Emperor to dispatch troops to reclaim the Stone Dragon Empire. We beg the Rock Emperor to avenge the fallen heroes of the Stone Dragon Empire. The Stone Dragon Empire has been occupied by the 8 countries. We would rather the Stone Dragon Empire belong to the desolate country than fall into the hands of the 8 countries. The 8 countries are jackals. They burned, killed, plundered, and bathed thousands of miles in blood. We must avenge our country. We are willing to belong to the desolate country and avenge our country with the Courage King. Discussions broke out all over the Stone Dragon Empire. Some people seemed to be lobbying in secret. The desolate country was founded by the Courage King, Du Xiaofu. Now that the Stone Dragon Empire had been destroyed, the people were stirred up and undercurrents were surging. Outside the Stone City, countless refugees of the Stone Dragon Empire began to gather in the desolate country. They were begging the Rock Emperor to dispatch troops. We beg the Rock Emperor to dispatch troops. We are willing to belong to the Stone Dragon Empire and avenge the fallen heroes of the Stone Dragon Empire. Countless sound waves reverberated through the sky, reverberating above the stone city. At this moment, only Du Xiaofu and Li Shui were in the side hall of the Du residence. Nonsense! You are all making trouble. Du Xiaofu shouted. Light flashed in the depths of his eyes. He exuded a majestic aura that made people tremble. President, please calm down. This is all my and Sister Yorua's idea. Please punish us. Li Shui's face turned pale. She immediately knelt on the ground and looked up at Du Xiaofu. She gritted her teeth and said, But President, Sister Yorua and I didn't do anything wrong. The Stone Dragon Empire has been destroyed. We are dispatching troops now. It has nothing to do with the Stone Dragon Empire. Then you did make a decision without permission. Du Xiaofu glared at Li Shui. There was a faint trace of fierceness in his eyes. Under this pressure, Li Shui felt oppressed and her body trembled. Then he looked at the trembling Li Shui and a trace of gentleness flashed in his eyes. He helped Li Shui up and said, You didn't do anything wrong, but you shouldn't pave the way for me. Where is Yorua now? I don't know. Sister Yorua has already left the stone city. Li Shui shook her head. She couldn't help but tremble under this invisible pressure. She was even more shocked. In just a few years, the ferocious young man in Tianwu Academy had grown to such a level. She did all this for me. She was paving the way for me. Du Xiaofu sighed. Kid, it's good that you know. A familiar voice sounded and a figure quietly appeared in the hall. It was the holy array prodigy, Zhen Qingchen. He looked at Du Xiaofu and his vulgar yet charming eyes were filled with surprise. He said, I didn't expect you to have broken through to martial honor and 8 star. I just broke through recently. Du Xiaofu smiled and nodded as he looked at the figure in front of him. He said, Brother Qingchen, weren't you in closed-door cultivation? I went into closed-door cultivation because I couldn't find anything to do. You weren't around either. Zhen Qingchen rolled his eyes at Du Xiaofu. He then gestured to Li Shui and said, Girl, you can leave now. Do what you need to do. I'll talk to this guy. Yes. Li Shui smiled and immediately turned to leave. I'm telling you, kid. I've already become sworn siblings with that lass Yorua. She's my little sister. You can't wrong her. In the entire desolate country, those 2 lasses are the only ones I like. Zhen Qingchen rolled his eyes at Du Xiaofu again as he looked at Li Shui's back. You've become sworn siblings with Yorua? Du Xiaofu couldn't help but be surprised when he heard that. What's so strange about that? Zhen Qingchen didn't think much of it. He then looked at Du Xiaofu and his expression suddenly became stern. He said, To achieve great things, you need the right time, the right place, and the right people. Now that everything is in place, what do you plan to do? Aside from the desolate country and the original Stone Dragon Empire, there are a total of 8 empires nearby. They've all come this time. Du Xiaofu's eyes flickered. There was a faint glint in his eyes. He said softly, Today, they dared to attack the Stone Dragon Empire. Tomorrow, they'll dare to attack the desolate country. They're just afraid now. Those 8 empires seem to have the shadows of some colossal forces behind them. Zhen Qingchen said. Those colossal forces seem to be busy with other matters. If we wait until they're done, I'm afraid the desolate country will be at a disadvantage. Du Xiaofu smiled faintly. Master Sima Taxing had already said that there would be great chaos in the world. Those forces wouldn't spend too much effort on this place. Moreover, the desolate country and the ancient heaven sect had formed an alliance. Although this matter was still confidential, at least there was now a barrier between the desolate country and the world. Don't tell me you plan to. Zhen Qingchen looked at Du Xiaofu with some fluctuations in his eyes. He seemed to have guessed something. They'll have to pay the price sooner or later. Du Xiaofu smiled. It was as if he had already predicted all of this and that this day would happen sooner or later. Brat, I'm telling you, the imperial dragon chi is good stuff. Every imperial palace should have some. It's just a matter of concentration. Don't waste it. Zhen Qingchen said. Du Xiaofu said, 8 empires. There's not much time left. Brother Qingchen, are you interested? Being able to absorb some of the imperial dragon chi will be of great help in breaking through to the next level. It's good to absorb some. Leave one to me. Zhen Qingchuan's eyes flashed with a hint of a smile. However, this smile made his wretched eyes even more intense. Chapter 1016. Night fell. Stone City, Du family's back mountain. An ancient aura filled the air as hundreds of figures emerged from the distorted space. Boom, as the figures emerged, the vast aura solidified in the air. Everyone's eyes were filled with joy. These figures were the Venerable Golden Rock, Jian Santong, Shui Ruhan, Yin Machin, Hu Sankuan, and the others who had obtained the divine lightning body tempering from the purple thunder profound cauldron. Everyone's strength had improved significantly after obtaining the divine lightning body tempering. Lu Ling, Yin Machin, Si Ruofeng, and the others' cultivation bases had soared. Grandmaster, I'm afraid there are some matters that require the ancient sky sect's help, Du Xiaofu said to the Venerable Golden Rock. Arrange it. The Venerable Golden Rock nodded as if he already knew. There are still 5 empires left. I want the Manchu's experts to make a trip there. I don't want the Imperial Dragon Chi, but I want the seals of the empires to be sent to the Dragon City Imperial Palace in 7 days, Du Xiaofu said. That's fast. Then we can only make a trip there ourselves. Although the Imperial Dragon Chi in the Imperial Palace isn't much, it's still good stuff. We can't waste it. An extraordinary venerable old man from the ancient heaven sect smiled. There was a hint of passion in his eyes, as if he was eager to try. It was as if he had long been prepared. I'll stay by your side for the time being. I'll only show myself when necessary. The Venerable Golden Rock said to Du Xiaofu. He didn't plan to leave Du Xiaofu's side. For the sake of the Purple Thunder Profound Cauldron's safety, he had to follow them secretly. Especially after the divine lightning body tempering, the Venerable Golden Rock was even more determined to protect the Purple Thunder Profound Cauldron. He couldn't allow any accidents to happen. Is that so? All right. Du Xiaofu smiled bitterly. Although it might be inconvenient for the Venerable Golden Rock to follow him, there were still many benefits. At least he would be much safer. Du Xiaofu turned to the Venerable Golden Rock and said, Grandmaster, as for the other experts of the Manchu, help them travel around the Stone Dragon Empire. Venerable Golden Rock nodded as if he knew what Du Xiaofu wanted to do. A few moments later, several silhouettes flew out from the back of the Du family's mountain, and disappeared into the night in the blink of an eye. Let's go there too, Tianhu Empire. Only Du Xiaofu, Du Xiaoyao, Du Xiaoqing, Little Tiger, and the Venerable Golden Rock were left on the mountain. Even the Phantom, the Beast Killer, the Evil Soul, and the Bloodvine Killer were not around. Roar, the Little Tiger roared. At this moment, it was already at the Nirvana realm of the Martial Emperor realm. It transformed into its original form and its speed increased greatly. It brought a few people with it towards the Tianhu Empire. Du Xiaofu sat cross-legged on the little tiger's back under the moonlight. He humbly asked for guidance from Venerable Golden Rock. The Venerable Golden Rock told Du Xiaofu everything he knew, and he was even more shocked. Not long after, he smiled bitterly. He felt that he had nothing left to impart to Du Xiaofu. On the other hand, Du Xiaofu had answered many of his questions regarding the mysteries of the golden-winged Great Rock. Some of his bottlenecks had been cleared, and he was enlightened. 3 days later, in the capital of the Tianhu Empire, the vast palace was enveloped in the golden morning light, and the whole world was covered in golden radiance. In the depths of the palace, in a huge golden palace, a middle-aged man sat cross-legged. His body was covered in golden light, as if there was a golden dragon circling around him. He was emitting a powerful aura. He was the emperor of the Tianhu Empire, and he was in charge of the palace. He cultivated with the imperial dragon qi of the palace. As he breathed, there was a dragon-shaped golden airflow. His aura was extremely powerful. Although he was only at the martial emperor realm, the imperial dragon qi of the palace was enough to make ordinary honorable realm experts wary. Who is trespassing in the palace? Suddenly, the emperor opened his eyes. His eyes were filled with golden light, and his voice shook the entire palace. Swoosh swoosh, in an instant, many auras fluctuated in the palace. Many figures flew up into the air, and their auras dissipated. Bang bang bang. There were low sounds, and in an instant, countless bodies exploded. Blood splattered everywhere, and some bodies fell to the ground, destroying a large part of the palace. How dare you! The middle-aged emperor's voice was like a dragon's roar. He appeared in the sky above the palace and looked at a young man in a purple robe and a young man in a black robe who ignored the protection of the palace's talisman array. There was also a beautiful young lady and a golden monkey. Who are you? You killed my guards and trespassed in my palace. You are courting death. The middle-aged emperor's eyes were cold and his eyes glowed with killing intent. He didn't care much about these youngsters. If it wasn't for the fact that almost all the experts of the Tianhu Empire had gone to the Stone Dragon Empire to fight for benefits, these youngsters wouldn't even be able to enter the imperial palace. The imperial dragon qi of the palace is a treasure, but it is not rich. Du Xiaofu said indifferently. He did not put the emperor in his eyes at all. Carefully sensing the aura of the young man in a purple robe, the middle-aged emperor suddenly realized something. His body trembled. Although the other party was young, he did not seem to be simple. Who are you, and what do you want? The middle-aged sovereign emperor asked Du Xiaofu. Sensing that aura, the killing intent and rage he had just a moment ago had turned into a cautious one. Du Xiaofu from the Huang country is here to kill you. Du Xiaofu said. His voice was sharp, and it echoed throughout the capital of the Tianhu Empire. The killing intent in his eyes was not concealed, and he walked towards the middle-aged emperor. Du Xiaofu, you are the demon king Du Xiaofu. The expression in the middle-aged emperor's eyes changed greatly, and he began to tremble for no reason. The name of Demon King Du Xiaofu was far from the central continent, and he was also well aware of it. Du Xiaofu was a supreme heaven's prideling, and he dared to kill the lord of the Great Will sect and the Divine Light Court. He was also a fierce demon king who could single-handedly kill tens of millions of soldiers. The Demon King Du Xiaofu has come to our Tianhu Empire. Inside and outside the palace, many of the guards were shocked, and some were secretly trembling. There will be no more Tianhu Empire in the future. Du Xiaofu soared into the sky and appeared in front of the middle-aged emperor. With every step, a terrifying aura swept across the void, turning into a dazzling light that shrouded the sky. This is the palace, and I have the imperial dragon qi. Kill! The middle-aged emperor shouted. With the imperial dragon qi as his backing, he summoned a golden imperial jade seal, which was similar to the golden dragon imperial jade seal of the Stone Dragon Empire. He activated the imperial dragon qi and threw out the imperial jade seal, which turned into a few golden dragons that soared into the sky. Break! Du Xiaofu stepped forward coldly. He didn't even stop in the void. He waved his purple robe and his long sleeves turned into golden wings of the Great Peng. Golden light flowed like a golden tide. With an unstoppable force, it destroyed the illusory figures of the golden dragons. The middle-aged emperor was shaken to the point where he spat out blood. The imperial jade seal is not bad. Du Xiaofu soared into the sky, waved his hand, and grabbed the imperial jade seal, ignoring the imperial dragon qi. How can you not be afraid of the imperial dragon qi? The middle-aged emperor's face changed, as if he had seen a ghost. The demon king Du Xiaofu was not afraid of the imperial dragon qi, and he was not afraid of the imperial dragon imperial jade seal, which contained the fate and faith of the Tianhu Empire. Run! After losing his trump card, the emperor immediately turned and ran. Kill! Du Xiaofu struck again. A lightning finger shot out like a thunderbolt tearing through the sky. Following which, the miserable shriek of the middle-aged sovereign emperor could be heard. His body was penetrated by the thunderbolt in mid-air and turned into a bloody mist. An emperor was killed in the blink of an eye in the imperial palace. The emperor has been killed. Inside and outside the imperial palace, countless people's eyes trembled, and their hair stood on end. It was unbelievable. Kill without mercy. Du Xiaofu said softly. As his voice fell, the little tiger's figure shot out, like a violent black tornado. Black runes shone with golden light as they swept in all directions. In the sky above the imperial palace, there were screams, and the few martial lord realm cultivators were all killed. Walala! In mid-air, Du Xiaofu took a deep breath and activated the golden dragon imperial jade seal. The materialized imperial palace dragon aura was then devoured. Ao, in the imperial palace, there were faint dragon roars, and golden light exploded. Waves of golden aura were visible to the naked eye, like golden spiritual snakes, and they all rushed into Du Xiaofu's body. Kacha, at this moment, in the land of the Tianhu Empire, the mountains trembled, the mountains cracked, and the abyss quietly split open. In the deep mountains, towering ancient trees withered, and the spiritual springs dried up. Ao, in the depths of countless mountains, the roars of beasts were endless, and they let out cries of fear. Chapter 10:17. For hours later, the imperial palace's draconic qi dried up and was completely devoured by Du Xiaofu. At this moment, Du Xiaofu was surrounded by a golden radiance. His aura was powerful and majestic, and he seemed to be able to transform the fate of a country for his own use. I found a lot of good stuff. Du Xiaoyao rushed out from the imperial palace and easily found the imperial palace's treasury. From Du Xiaoyao's smiling golden eyes, he must have found a lot of treasures. The entire country's collection was completely looted by Du Xiaoyao and Du Xiaoqing. Third young master, it's almost done. The little tiger withdrew his true form. His black eyes were fierce and fierce. At this moment, all the stronger cultivators in the imperial palace had been dealt with by him. There was no suspense at all. Let's go. Du Xiaofu nodded. Then, the four of them flew into the air and left. The imperial palace of the Tianhu Empire was bathed in blood. The emperor was killed, and all the strong cultivators were killed. Is this true? Is our Tianhu Empire really going to be destroyed? The Tianhu Empire's capital was in an uproar. The demon king Du Xiaofu's appearance had swept through the imperial palace in such a way. It was too shocking. The news spread and the Tianhu Empire was shaken. The news also spread quickly. In the following 2 days, all kinds of news spread from the surrounding empires. Strong cultivators had arrived at the various empires' capitals. They were all extraordinary venerable level cultivators who attacked directly. They swept through the imperial palaces and killed the emperors. They stole the draconic qi from the imperial palace and left after leaving behind the name of the desolate country. This news spread in all directions. The clouds were stirred. I know. That was the demon king Du Xiaofu's attack. It was not difficult for some to guess that it was related to the desolate country. Naturally, it was the demon king Du Xiaofu's attack. He had directly given the order to kill the emperors of the various empires. The clouds were stirred. Countless people were shocked. The imperial palaces of several empires were destroyed at the same time. This was shocking. The demon king Du Xiaofu attacked 8 countries at the same time. It went without saying that he had subjugated the 8 countries. How domineering was this? Du Xiaofu's figure was already in Dragon City. He was going to the Stone Dragon Empire's palace. Probing Du Xiaofu's soul. Many. The palace. The palace. It has been. 8 countries was the stone. 8 countries in a stalemate was the stone. Was the 8 countries. At this moment, the 8 countries were still in a heated debate. Everyone wanted to get more benefits. More importantly, there was the Bice giant, the Bice the giants' giantesses. Those behemoths were the ones who were truly arguing with each other. They were also the ones who had truly destroyed the Stone Dragon Empire. Roar! Roar! A tiger's roar resounded as a huge black tiger flapped its wings and soared into the sky. A purple-robed young man stood on it. That's the brave God King. That powerful black tiger is his mount. Someone in Dragon City noticed the black tiger Guai. Their hearts trembled. The brave God King is back. Is he here for revenge? The imperial capital is filled with the 8 countries' experts. They won't be easy to deal with. Some people were worried. They clenched their fists. They hated the 8 countries, but more than that, they were afraid of them. As the news of the brave God King's appearance spread, it attracted the attention of the entire Dragon City. Everyone rushed to the streets and headed towards the palace. They had a premonition that something big was going to happen in the palace with the appearance of the brave God King in Dragon City. Although many parts of the palace were in ruins, it was still in good condition. The palace used to be majestic. It was filled with imperial dragon chi. But now, the palace was desolate. That meant that its luck had run out. Who are you? Tell me your name. You are not allowed to trespass into the palace. Otherwise, you will be killed. When Du Xiaofu finally appeared in front of the palace, the guards on the city walls shouted and stopped Du Xiaofu and the others from entering. The guards on the city walls were on high alert. Many people were drawing their bows. That was an extraordinary spiritual arrow. It was made by a talisman master and was engraved with talisman patterns. It was specially used to deal with the other party's experts during a battle. A turtledove occupying a magpie's nest. Die! Du Xiaoqing shouted and attacked. Green and red flames sprayed out, burning the space to the point of distorting. A blazing aura filled the air, destroying all those who tried to stop her. Who dares to trespass? Are you courting death? The commotion and aura immediately attracted many experts. They all rushed towards Du Xiaofu and the others. Du Xiaoqing stood on the back of the little tiger. She waved her hand and the green and red flames spread out from the void. Eventually, many experts were engulfed in a sea of fire and were burned to ashes. There were endless screams and wails, but no one escaped. Who dares to trespass? Tell me your name. Finally, there was a surge of aura in the palace that made Du Xiaofu look up slightly. Then, someone shouted and hundreds of experts appeared one after another. They blocked in front of the little tiger. Du Xiaofu stood on little tiger's back with a cold expression on his face. His gaze swept across the crowd, revealing a hint of sharpness. Demon King Du Xiaofu. It's Du Xiaofu. Someone in the crowd immediately recognized Du Xiaofu. During the Heavenly Talents competition, the figure of the purple-robed youth in the space-time talisman array had left a deep impact on many people. It was hard to forget that young purple figure. The 3 words Du Xiaofu immediately caused everyone to be stunned. Some of them even revealed looks of horror in their eyes. Back then, Du Xiaofu had killed tens of millions of soldiers from the Stone Dragon Empire. He had killed the martial venerables of the Divine Light Court and slashed the disciples of the Great Will sect with his sword. Du Xiaofu, what do you want? An old man asked. He seemed to be extremely wary of the purple-robed youth. The people of the Sky Snake Sect, Mysterious Underworld Sect, Spirit Sky Valley, and Mysterious Talisman Sect can leave. Otherwise, I'll kill you. Du Xiaofu ignored the old man. He sensed that the old man's aura carried traces of the imperial palace. He seemed to be the emperor of some empire. Many people trembled when they heard Du Xiaofu's words. His words were calm, but they were filled with endless dominance and sharpness. The young man was already imposing without being angry. He had great power and could make people tremble. Humph, do you think you can rely on the desolate country? The old man was obviously of high status. Being ignored by Du Xiaofu at this moment, his old face was a little embarrassed. He immediately gritted his teeth and looked at Du Xiaofu. Noisy, Du Xiaofu didn't say anything unnecessary. With a wave of his hand, a purple-gold lightning surged out and condensed into a purple-gold thunderbolt. With a terrifying momentum, it instantly blasted the old man into ashes in a situation where he couldn't block or dodge at all. Such decisiveness in killing caused the surrounding gazes to change, and they all trembled inwardly. The demon king Du Xiaofu was indeed worthy of his reputation. Young man, you have a strong killing intent. It seems that I have to help you resolve the evil in your heart. An old man rushed out with a gloomy face. The light around his body was dazzling and there was a murderous aura spreading. The void around his body suddenly twisted and solidified. Whoosh! In the next instant, the old man's hand seals were formed and there was a strange light in his eyes. Then, a talisman turned into the shadow of a huge black serpent with a single horn and shot towards Du Xiaofu. That aura seemed to be filled with destruction. It was terrifyingly powerful. Mysterious martial honorable, the aura of the Sky Serpent sect, Du Xiaofu raised his head and there was coldness in his eyes. He leaped into the air and faced the huge black serpent with a single horn. Instead of retreating, he advanced. Whoosh! Du Xiaofu clapped his hands and golden talisman runes swept out like a tide. With an overbearing aura, they easily destroyed the huge black serpent shadow. This update is late. Apologies. The update will be completed today. Chapter 10:18. Bang! Du Xiaofu's figure appeared in front of the elder from the Sky Snake sect like a ghost, surrounded by faint purple lightning. At the same time, Du Xiaofu raised his hand and lightly punched the elder's chest. This elder was an expert from the Sky Snake sect. His background in the Sky Snake sect was not simple. He was a powerful figure among the elders of the Sky Snake Manchu. This time, this elder had come to the destroyed Stone Dragon Empire in order to fight for more benefits for the Sky Snake sect. It was rumored that the Stone Dragon Empire's vicinity was an ancient land with legends. However, at this moment, as Du Xiaofu's fist landed, the old man's body immediately turned into a bloody mist before the fist without any ability to resist. A mysterious martial honorable from the Sky Snake sect was blown apart with a single punch. Everyone was shocked. Their hair stood on end and their hair stood on end. At this moment, everyone could feel the dense killing intent and majestic aura of destruction from Du Xiaofu's body. The demon king Du Xiaofu was too terrifying. It was so terrifying that not only did it oppress the physical body, but it also made one's primordial spirit tremble. Terrifying energy flowed with lightning like a vast sea of lightning. It was hair-raising. Then, it dissipated into the sky and stopped abruptly. How can he be so strong? All the experts were shocked. The demon king Du Xiaofu was even more terrifying than they had imagined. He was actually able to blow apart a mysterious martial honorable expert with a single punch. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, I'll kill you. Don't test my patience. Du Xiaofu said. His gaze swept over all the experts present. It was domineering, sharp, and incomparably disdainful. It even carried a kind of contempt. Hearing Du Xiaofu's words, the surrounding people's gazes trembled. This demon king Du Xiaofu was too domineering and powerful. Within the crowd, an elder's eyes moved. He had a profound expression on his face. He was an elder of the profound talisman sect. Soon after, he quietly backed off a bit. Du Xiaofu, you are a disciple of the ancient heaven sect and the Seven-Star Hall. Are you here today to represent the ancient heaven sect and the Seven-Star Hall? An old woman stepped forward and asked Du Xiaofu. This old woman was an elder of the profound underworld sect. She came to the destroyed Stone Dragon Empire to fight for more benefits for the profound underworld sect. I represent myself and have nothing to do with the 7-star hall of the ancient heaven sect. Du Xiaofu spoke. He indifferently glanced at the old woman and probed her aura. She was also a mysterious martial supreme. This caused Du Xiaofu's indifferent face to be secretly puzzled. For the sake of a small empire like the Stone Dragon Empire, these behemoths had actually mobilized experts of this level. It seemed like they were making a mountain out of a molehill. If not, then this matter would not be so simple. Are you representing yourself and your desolate country? The old woman asked. She knew that the desolate country belonged to the demon king, Du Xiaofu. Previously, for the sake of the desolate country, Du Xiaofu had even killed hundreds of disciples of the Great Will sect. She had long heard of this matter. This old woman also knew that Du Xiaofu was extraordinary. Furthermore, the sacred array prodigy was in the desolate country. Hence, the profound underworld sect had deliberately not touched the desolate country this time. If it were any other time, the old woman would not have taken Du Xiaofu seriously. Even if Du Xiaofu was a supreme genius, he was still young. After all, she was a mysterious martial supreme. However, the old woman had just witnessed a mysterious martial supreme being blown apart by a single punch. Her heart was filled with shock and she did not dare to be careless. Could it be that your desolate country wants to go against the 4 great mountain sects of the profound underworld sect, the Sky Serpent sect, the Spirit Sky Valley and the Profound Talisman sect? To tell you the truth, these 8 countries are also the forces of the 4 great mountain sects. The old woman looked at Du Xiaofu in front of her and spoke with a sinister voice. Although she was afraid of the demon king, Du Xiaofu, she still had the profound underworld sect and the 3 great mountain sects behind her. They were her support. She did not believe that anyone in the central region would dare to touch the 4 great mountain sects at the same time. Are you threatening me? Du Xiaofu walked towards the old woman step by step. His face was still indifferent and his expression was calm. However, the arrogance and domineering sharpness from his body had suppressed everyone present. What are you trying to do? The old woman's heart trembled and her primordial spirit trembled. She could not help but take a step back. Slap! Du Xiaofu waved his hand across the air, causing the space in front of him to distort. In an instant, a huge palm print appeared on the face of the old lady from the profound Xian sect. Pfft! The red palm print appeared on the old woman's face. She spat out a mouthful of blood along with her teeth. Her old face was immediately filled with horror. The old woman was furious and resentful. As an elder of the profound underworld sect, she had never been humiliated like this before. However, this time, she was treated in such a manner. She felt extremely ashamed. Slap! A crisp sound rang out again. Another red palm print appeared on the other side of the old woman's face. Blood splattered everywhere and her teeth flew out. She was slapped until she was dizzy. Don't test my patience. With your cultivation level, I can kill you just like that. If you say another word, I will kill you on the spot. Du Xiaofu looked at the old woman and glanced at her indifferently. The invisible aura on his body caused the expressions of all the experts present to freeze. The old woman did not dare to say another word. No one knew if it was because she was angry or because the 2 slaps were too heavy, but blood kept flowing out of her mouth. Ha! My profound talisman sect has a good relationship with the demon king, Du Xiaofu. This time, Shui specially said that if the desolate country interferes with the Stone Dragon Empire, the profound talisman sect will retreat. The old man from the profound talisman sect who had just retreated spoke with a meaningful smile. The profound talisman sect can leave. However, the 2 empires under the profound talisman sect will have to compensate the desolate country. Du Xiaofu looked at the old man from the profound talisman sect and said to everyone present, the people from the profound underworld sect and the Spirit Sky Valley can leave. As for the people from the Sky Snake sect, they can stay as well. Also, I want the 8 empires that besieged the Stone Dragon Empire. What? The moment Du Xiaofu's words came out, the entire place was in an uproar. The faces of the people from the Sky Snake sect changed drastically. Du Xiaofu, you want 8 empires? Asked a middle-aged man from the Spirit Sky Valley. He could not accept Du Xiaofu directly asking for 8 empires. This time, the 4 mountain sects had joined forces for the Stone Dragon Empire. However, Du Xiaofu's appetite was bigger than the 4 mountain sects. He actually wanted 8 empires. That's right. I want all the empires. Du Xiaofu nodded and spoke frankly. What makes you think you can compete with the 4 mountain sects? The middle-aged man gritted his teeth and looked at Du Xiaofu. He said, even if you kill us today, I'm afraid it will only bring disaster to the desolate country. You destroyed the Stone Dragon Empire and caused countless refugees to flood into the desolate country. In the name of humanitarianism, the desolate country spent countless resources to rescue them. Therefore, you must compensate the 8 empires and me. Du Xiaofu said. He was so domineering that no one could refute him. He looked at the middle-aged man from the Spirit Sky Valley and said, when the time comes, if you want to touch the desolate country, I will accept it. Of course, I will also guarantee that you will regret provoking me. Everyone was stunned. The Demon King Du Xiaofu was simply too domineering. This was clearly a robbery, but he still said it as if it was a righteous act. At this moment, facing the 4 mountain sects, the Demon King Du Xiaofu was not afraid at all. Du Xiaofu, are you challenging the 4 mountain sects? The middle-aged man heard this. After a long time, his eyes twitched and he asked in a deep voice. I'm just informing you. I reckon that by this time, the imperial palaces have already been destroyed. Du Xiaofu was still as indifferent as before. He looked up slightly and there were some fluctuations in his clear eyes. TSK, at the same time, a figure appeared above the imperial palace. It was a middle-aged man with a slightly wretched look. However, his charm was natural. A stream of light shot out from his hand and then appeared in front of Du Xiaofu. It's done. The middle-aged man smiled and then stood beside Du Xiaoqing, watching with interest. Swish, swish, at the same time, there were many whooshing sounds in the surroundings. Nearly 20 figures descended from the sky from all directions. They were the dozen or so extraordinary venerables from the ancient heaven sect. There was also Phantom, Blood Vine Spirit, Shou Sha, and Hun Xie. The 4 of them had also destroyed an imperial palace by themselves. When these figures appeared, the clouds in all directions moved, and the clouds in the sky surged. The ancient heaven sect is interfering. It's the ancient heaven sect's experts. The invisible aura was released into the sky, causing the souls of the people from the Sky Snake sect, Spirit Sky Valley, Stygian sect, and the various empires to tremble. The imperial palace's dragon chi is really difficult to deal with. We almost failed. Phantom said and handed a jade seal to Du Xiaofu. They were called evil spirits in the past and were suppressed by the imperial palace's dragon chi. However, Phantom and the other 3 worked together and finally absorbed the imperial palace's dragon chi. They obtained great benefits and killed the emperor of a kingdom to obtain the jade seal. Whoosh! At the same time, the ancient heaven sect's venerables also threw 5 jade seals to Du Xiaofu. That's the imperial seal of our kingdom. In the crowd, the faces of the elders from the various empires changed. Some of them were the emperors of those empires, while others were the top experts of the imperial family. They could sense the appearance of those jade seals at a glance. Now that the jade seals had left the imperial palace and appeared here, these empire's experts immediately sensed something. Their faces were filled with despair. The emperors of the 8 kingdoms have been killed. Although the Stone Dragon Empire has nothing to do with me, my family is there. Those who touch my family will be killed without mercy. Du Xiaofu shouted, and his voice echoed in the Dragon City. He threw out a jade seal in his hand, and the 8 jade seals immediately revolved around him. Chapter 10:19. The emperors of the 8 countries have all been executed. Although the Stone Dragon Empire has nothing to do with me, my family is there. Those who touch my family will be killed without mercy. Du Xiaofu shouted, his voice echoing throughout Dragon City. He threw out the Imperial Jade Seal in his hand, and 8 Imperial Jade Seals immediately circled around him. Rumble. Instantly, 8 monstrous rays of golden light filled the air, emitting multicolored light. They condensed into 8 illusory golden dragons that breathed in and out dragon aura. Roar! In an instant, 8 golden dragons circled in the sky, and they roared with their heads raised. The roars of the dragons were mighty and distant, and they shook the 9 heavens, causing all beasts and souls to tremble in fear and prostrate themselves before them. Golden Dragon Imperial Jade Seal, our empire has been destroyed. In the crowd, the experts of the 8 countries instantly lost their color, and all of them became dispirited. They never thought that their respective lairs would be uprooted not long after they took over the Stone Dragon Empire. Die! Du Xiaofu stood in the air, and countless purple arcs of lightning surged out, shuttling between the 8 illusory golden dragons. In the end, they turned into bolts of purple lightning that swept down. Bang bang bang, the experts of the 8 countries were instantly enveloped by lightning. Their figures turned into a bloody mist without any suspense, and were blasted into ashes by the purple lightning. Run, quickly jump. The remaining experts of the Sky Snake sect saw that the situation was not good, and immediately fled. No. However, the Sky Snake sect's experts did not even have the time to escape before they let out miserable cries. Soon after, their bodies were blown apart as easily as dried twigs. Under the destructive pressure of the tyrannical golden thunderbolts, their bodies turned into a bloody mist as they were mercilessly killed. Only a dozen experts from the Spirit Sky Valley, the Profound Talisman sect, and the Profound Underworld sect were left. The experts of the 8 countries were all destroyed. The billions of eyes in Dragon City looked up at the scene that happened in the sky above the Imperial Palace. They were shocked into silence. Everything was destroyed, and the experts of the 8 countries were all killed. That was the Demon King Du Xiaofu's tyrannical killing style. Even if he was facing a venerable realm expert from the 9 great powers, he would not hesitate to directly and mercilessly kill them. High up in the sky, the eyes of the ancient heaven sect's experts trembled. The sharpness and overbearingness caused one's expression to involuntarily change. Du Xiaofu stood quietly. His eyes had regained their clarity on his resolute and determined face. However, at this moment, there was a great majesty around him. The Imperial Jade Seal circled around him, leaking the Imperial Palace's dragon chi. 8 golden dragons coiled in the void around Du Xiaofu, prostrating themselves in awe, as if they were facing a supreme emperor among men. What a terrifying brat! Even the Imperial Palace's dragon chi has to bow before him. Is this brat the Demon King or Jizun? Within the ancient heaven sect, 2 venerable realm experts who were of the same generation as Elder Gu Qingyang were shocked. This brat is not someone to be trifled with. It's a pity that even the ancient heaven sect's sect master position could not keep him. Otherwise, I'm afraid that one day, he could really bring our ancient heaven sect to new heights. Another venerable realm expert of the ancient heaven sect sighed. Withdraw. The 8 golden dragons were withdrawn by Du Xiaofu, turning into 8 imperial jade seals. In the end, they were all taken into Du Xiaofu's hands. Looking at the remaining experts from the Spirit Heaven Valley, the Profound Talisman sect, and the Profound Underworld sect, who were still in shock, Du Xiaofu said calmly with majesty, "You can leave now. From now on, the 8 countries have nothing to do with you. They all belong to the desolate country. Those who offend the desolate country will be killed without mercy." The old woman from the Heavenly Snake sect stared at Du Xiaofu. She trembled under the immense pressure and the intimidation just now. She didn't dare to say another word. With a vicious look in her eyes, she leaped away. The Spirit Heaven Valley will take our leave. However, we will definitely seek justice from the desolate country for this matter. The middle-aged expert from the Spirit Heaven Valley said. Then, he led the other experts from the Spirit Heaven Valley and left helplessly. The situation was hopeless, and there were more than 10 venerable realm experts from the ancient heaven sect here. The Spirit Heaven Valley did not dare to stay any longer. It was obvious that the ancient heaven sect had sent out more than 10 venerable realm experts to support Du Xiaofu. The profound talisman sect will also take our leave. We will give the 2 empires to the desolate country. The old man from the profound talisman sect smiled. Then, he said that he did not want the 2 empires anymore. This is the compensation from the profound talisman sect, not a gift. Du Xiaofu said bluntly. Then, he said to the old man, "Send my regards to Miss Zhu Shui." "I will." The old man nodded. There was a complicated look in his eyes. Then, he led the other experts from the profound talisman sect and left. In an instant, they disappeared in midair. The emperors of the 8 empires have been executed. The armies of the 8 empires will be captured. Otherwise, you will be killed without mercy. Du Xiaofu shouted. His voice swept across the dragon city, causing the armies of the 8 empires to tremble. Just his voice alone was enough to make their souls tremble. "Surrender, I surrender." Immediately, the armies of the 8 empires surrendered. They did not dare to resist. On this day, the last experts of the 8 empires were killed, along with the venerable realm expert from the Sky Snake sect. The news spread and shook the entire world. It was rumored that the desolate country's rock emperor, Du Xiaofu, came to the dragon city and killed the experts of the 8 empires by himself. He slapped the venerable realm expert of the Xianming sect and scared the experts of the other sects away. That kind of overbearing and murderous aura, the Demon King lived up to his name. The Rock Emperor is avenging the Stone Dragon Empire. It is rumored that the desolate country has already swept away the remaining forces of the 8 empires. They are unstoppable. It is only a matter of time before they take control of the 8 empires. The Stone Dragon Empire has been destroyed. The Rock Emperor is still part of the Du family of the Stone Dragon Empire. In the past 2 years, the desolate country has protected the Stone Dragon Empire a lot. It is only right for them to take control of the Stone Dragon Empire. The Stone Dragon Empire should join the desolate country. In the next few days, the news of the Tianhu Empire and the other 8 empires being swept away spread. Some experts suddenly appeared and killed the experts of the cities before leaving. Then, the desolate country's army entered the 8 empires. Wherever they passed, they swept away everything. Blood flowed like rivers as they took control of the cities. The 8 empires had vast territories. It was only a matter of time before the desolate country took control of the 8 empires. No one would be able to obstruct the desolate country's army anymore. Desolate country, Stone City, Du family. The 8 empires have been destroyed. It is only a matter of time. What do you plan to do? Zhen Qingchen asked Du Xiaofu. The 8 empires had been destroyed. It was only a matter of time before the desolate country took control of everything. Take control of the desolate country. Du Xiaofu's eyes shone brightly. He would not share the benefits of destroying the 8 empires with others. He would take control of the 8 empires. Recently, the desolate country had taken control of the 8 empires and thousands of prefectures. Other than the prefectures that were originally big cities, they lacked experts to control them. Du Yunlong, Big Sister Du Xiaoman, Solitary Sword King, Golden Condor King, Mysterious Dragon King, Chao Yu, Hua Fankong, Silver Winged Demonic Condor, Golden Python and other experts from the World Society and Heavenly Beast Hall came out. What about the original Stone Dragon Empire? Zhen Qingchen asked. Return to the desolate country. Du Xiaofu seemed to have made a decision and nodded slightly. Zhen Qingchen said to Du Xiaofu, the dragon veins of the 8 empires and the Stone Dragon Empire have been destroyed. They need to be rebuilt. The desolate country still lacks an imperial seal. You have to prepare to refine it. I am not familiar with these. Du Xiaofu looked at Zhen Qingchun with a pleading look. Rebuilding the dragon veins and refining the imperial seal were all things Du Xiaofu was not familiar with. Rebuilding the dragon veins is quite a big task, but I can do it. Zhen Qingchun looked at Du Xiaofu and said, however, it is not the best choice to refine the imperial seal. Although the materials are hard to find, it is not impossible to find them. It is just that the imperial seal contains the great fortune of a country and the power of faith of a country. It is nourished by the dragon aura of the imperial palace. Everything needs to start from scratch. It needs time to reach a certain level. There is no way to speed it up. The Golden Dragon Imperial Seal of the Stone Dragon Empire has been around for thousands of years. It is a true treasure. Unfortunately, its whereabouts are unknown. If you can directly fuse with the Golden Dragon Imperial Seal of the Stone Dragon Empire, you will be able to guard the dragon veins with half the effort. Zhen Qingchun continued. I still have these 8 imperial seals. Can they become new ones? Du Xiaofu frowned and summoned the 8 imperial seals he obtained from the 8 empires. Golden light surrounded his body and released a terrifying pressure. These imperial seals cannot be compared to the Golden Dragon Imperial Seal of the Stone Dragon Empire. They are much weaker. Zhen Qingchun shook his head and continued to say to Du Xiaofu, moreover, these imperial seals have been nourished by the dragon aura of the imperial palace. They contain the long-lasting fortune of a country and are worshipped by millions of citizens. They gather the dragon aura of the empire. There is a mysterious power and endless fortune that is fused with the heaven and earth. It is not something an ordinary talisman master can refine. No matter how powerful a talisman master is, he can refine the shape of the Golden Dragon Imperial Seal, but he cannot refine the mysterious power of the soul inside the seal. It needs countless years of nourishment from the imperial palace and the fate of a country to contain the pressure of the heaven and earth. So, I can only refine a new imperial seal and slowly nourish it. Du Xiaofu frowned. The Golden Dragon Imperial Seal was indeed a treasure that could guard a country and suppress the dragon veins. It was the last thing a country could rely on. He had to pay attention to it. There is an expert coming to Stone City. As soon as Du Xiaofu finished speaking, Zhen Qingchun's eyes suddenly trembled. He sensed that a strong cultivator had come to the Stone City. Zhen Qingchun felt the aura of the expert and his expression turned serious. Chapter 1020. It's my master, the revered artifact. Du Xiaofu smiled. The aura descended on Stone City, and he probed with his mind. Under the familiar aura, Du Xiaofu didn't see the person, but he knew who had come to Stone City. After a while, an old man in his 50s with long black hair and a red robe appeared in the sky above Stone City. The old man had a wide forehead and a square face, and there seemed to be lightning flashing deep in his eyes. Then, he disappeared into the Du family. Greetings, master. In the side hall of the courtyard, Du Xiaofu bowed. It was the revered artifact master, Xiahou Fenglei. Greetings, senior revered artifact. Your name was like thunder in my ears. Today, I finally see you in person. Zhen Qingchun's eyes were full of respect. When he made his debut, the revered artifact's name had already spread throughout Central State and Spirit Realm. I've also heard of the Saint Array prodigy. In the path of cultivation, the one who reaches the top is first. There's no need to be polite. The revered artifact smiled. Zhen Qingchun's aura naturally couldn't escape his probing. A half-domain level cultivation was one of the top experts in Central State. In the path of cultivation, the one who reaches the top is first. But senior revered artifact has already taken that step, and I'm still a little behind. Zhen Qingchun smiled. He felt the aura of the revered artifact, and it couldn't escape his probing. The revered artifact had already taken that step. Master, you've reached 9-star. Hearing this, Du Xiaofu seemed to have understood something. He could feel that the aura of his master, the weapon sovereign, had changed again. His eyes immediately lit up with joy. The 9-star level was equivalent to the martial domain realm. I've finally reached it in 2 years. The revered artifact nodded with a smile and didn't deny it. Du Xiaofu was pleasantly surprised. His master had reached 9-star again, which meant that the 7-star hall's strength had greatly increased. Then, he asked curiously, Master, why are you here in Stone City? I received news that you've reached the revered realm in the ancient heaven sect and returned to Stone City. The 7-star hall is also paying attention to the situation in the barren country. I'm afraid that you'll be in trouble, so I came, said the revered artifact. Thank you, Master. Du Xiaofu felt warmth in his heart. He knew that his master was worried about him. The 7-star hall knew about the situation in the desolate country. Naturally, they also knew that the Tianhu Empire was backed by the Sky Serpent sect and the other 3 mountain sections. That was why they came personally. It's good that you're fine. I heard that you've already broken through to the Zun stage in the ancient heaven sect. The weapon master smiled. He had already sensed the aura of his disciple. Of course, he knew what it meant to have such a young martial venerable and an 8-star talisman master. Subsequently, Du Xiaofu, Zhenqing Chun, and weapon venerable Xiahou Fenglei talked about recent events, including the Imperial Jade Seal and the Dragon Vein. Venerable Weapon's eyes flickered as he whispered to Du Xiaofu, to rebuild the Dragon Vein, we need the Imperial Jade Seal to suppress the Dragon Vein and become the core of the Dragon Vein. Refining another Imperial Jade Seal to nourish the Dragon Vein is too time-consuming, and there are many inconveniences and delays. The 8 Imperial Jade Seals are the old seals of the 8 countries. If we refine them and combine them into one, not only will its power increase greatly, but it will also be easier to integrate into the Dragon Vein and connect with the 8 countries. But Master, the Imperial Jade Seals are difficult to refine. It will be even more difficult to combine them into one, Du Xiaofu said with a frown. Indeed, the 8 old seals have been nourished by the Imperial Palace's dragon qi. They have gathered the faith and sacrifice of the country and absorbed the fate of the country. An ordinary talisman master will not be able to refine them. The revered weapon nodded. He then smiled at Du Xiaofu and said, but I can do it. The 3,000 jolting thunders I have can refine the Imperial Jade Seal. It won't be a problem for me to merge 8 into one. After a short pause, the revered weapon continued, however, this is not the best way. As far as I know, there is another way, but that way is too risky. Ordinary people can't bear it at all. Unless you are a real king among men, you can't bear such great luck. What other way? Du Xiaofu asked curiously. The owner of the Imperial Jade Seal receives the mandate of heaven. The Imperial Jade Seal is the most important thing in the country. But it is said that the heart of the Dragon Vein is not necessarily the Golden Dragon Imperial Jade Seal. Venerable Weapon said, it is recorded in the ancient books that in the ancient times, there was a supreme Imperial Jade Seal. It was a life weapon that was used as the foundation to bear the fate of the country. The great fortune of heaven and earth was added to the body, and it could bring great benefits. Later on, there were emperors who tried to imitate it, but none of them succeeded. They were all destroyed by the heavenly might. Du Xiaofu fell into deep thought. He had obtained the Imperial Palace's dragon qi and knew its benefits. It could even enhance the great fortune of heaven and earth. If he did not give it a try, he would regret it. He raised his head and said to revered weapon, Master, I would like to give it a try. Are you sure? It could be extremely dangerous. Venerable weapon focused. Using the life weapon to refine the Imperial Jade Seal, the great fortune of heaven and earth was not something ordinary people could bear. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Du Xiaofu's eyes were firm. He had made up his mind. Then try it. You are extraordinary. Maybe you really have a chance to succeed. Venerable weapon nodded. His disciple was not ordinary and had a chance to succeed. The reason why the venerated weapon proposed this method was because he hoped that his disciple would be able to obtain great benefits from it. In the end, the three discussed and decided to refine a new imperial jade seal. Du Xiaofu's life weapon was the Tyrant Shadow. He planned to refine the 8 imperial jade seals and merge them with the Tyrant Shadow to create a new imperial jade seal. Zhen Qingchun would build a new dragon vein to gather the dragon veins of the 10 countries and gather the great fortune of the 10 countries. And all of this would take time. It could not be done in a short time. In the Stone City, the construction of the imperial palace began. The army of the barren country and the demonic beasts of the celestial beast hall were mobilized. Time passed slowly. In the Stone Dragon Empire, the clamor for the barren country grew louder and louder. The Rock Emperor had killed the experts of the 8 countries, intimidated the 4 mountain sects, and killed the emperors of the 8 countries. This made the Stone Dragon Empire, which had just been destroyed, boil over. In addition to what the barren country had done to the Stone Dragon Empire in the past 2 years, the people had long submitted. At the right time, place, and people, the clamor for the Stone Dragon Empire to submit to the barren country grew louder and louder. No one objected. In the Stone Dragon Empire, in hundreds of cities, there were people who jointly petitioned to join the barren country. In the quiet courtyard of the Du family, Du Xiaofu met the North Vanquishing King, the South Vanquishing King, the East Vanquishing King, and the other kings. Your wish has been fulfilled and your revenge has been avenged. Child, I thank you on behalf of the Stone Dragon Empire. The North Vanquishing King's eyes were moist. He had already known everything. Grandpa Xia, old kings, the Stone Dragon Empire no longer exists. I want to change it to the barren country. What do you think? Du Xiaofu asked the crowd. These old kings and kings were not ordinary in his heart. The Stone Dragon Empire has been destroyed long ago. You have destroyed the other 8 countries. Naturally, it should be yours, said Ouyang Ling. North Vanquishing Prince looked at Du Xiaofu and said, Kid, just do it. I've already said that we'll support you with all our strength. You're justified this time. You don't need to worry about what others say. Many thanks. Du Xiaofu nodded and left. There was one last thing he needed to do. The curtain of night covered the sky. The vast Lanling Prefecture city was completely shrouded in the night. After the Stone Dragon Empire was destroyed, the Lanling Prefecture city had also been engulfed in the flames of war. However, after the 8 countries were destroyed, the flames of war had already dissipated. Inside the Lanling Prefecture city, in an old mansion, a woman stood quietly in the courtyard under the moonlight. Her long eyelashes fluttered and her eyes were like limpid autumn water. It was very moving. Chapter 1021. After a long time, the woman turned around, intending to return to the courtyard. Chi! Suddenly, the space fluctuated a little, and a purple-robed young man appeared in the woman's line of sight. The purple-robed young man had a resolute and determined face. His eyes were clear, but there was a hidden sharpness. He was only 22 or 23 years old, but his aura made people's hearts tremble. Looking at the purple-robed young man who suddenly appeared in front of her, Murong Yorua's long eyelashes fluttered. Her eyes were filled with surprise and complicated emotions, but she soon calmed down. Do I need a woman to bear the responsibility for everything I do? Du Xiaofu asked, looking at Murong Yorua. In order to pave the way, she would bear the responsibility alone. Looking at the purple-robed young man in front of her, Murong Yorua's watery eyes could vaguely see the figure of the purple-robed young man from back then. Back then, it was from the hidden sharpness in his eyes that she could feel that this young man was different from Guokuan and the others. She was not wrong. In just a few years, the purple-robed young man before her had grown to the point where he could shake the entire central province. It's not that you don't want the Stone Dragon Empire. You didn't want it back then because you didn't want to be indebted to others. You needed to take it down yourself. You needed a great path. I'm just doing what I should do. I'm just retreating, said Murong Yorua. Under her long eyelashes, her eyes were filled with spiritual light. Her complicated gaze was quietly restrained. A gentle wind blew gently, and her hair danced. How big is the Stone Dragon Empire? Du Xiaofu looked at the woman in front of him. He slowly approached her and said, "The 8 countries have been destroyed." Murong Yorua's eyes moved slightly. She revealed a smile with an ancient aura. She was as beautiful as a fairy who had walked out of a painting. She said, "It seems that I've been thinking too much. I only see the Stone Dragon Empire. What you want are the 8 countries. Without you, it wouldn't have been possible." Du Xiaofu said, "The world society can't do without you. I'm here to invite you back." Murong Yorua shook her head and said, "I can't go back. I sent a fake edict and have been expelled from the world society. If I go back, you won't be able to answer to the desolate country. The entire desolate country is mine. Who do you think I need to answer to?" Du Xiaofu looked at the girl in front of him. He still remembered the first time he saw her. Under her temperament, there seemed to be something stirring in his heart, stirring up his feelings. Hearing this, Murong Yorua was speechless. He was still so domineering. The entire desolate country was his, so who else did he have to explain himself to? "I'm here to invite you back. Elder Yi is still in seclusion and you're leaving too. Do you really have the heart to not help me? Even if it's for Xingyu's sake, you can't not help me." Du Xiaofu smiled and looked at the woman in front of her. She knew how to make her go back. "You are now the young hall master of the 7-star hall, the emperor of the barren nation, and the president of the world society. How can you still be so indecent?" Murong Yorua helplessly smiled. On that resolute face, there was a trace of the rascality of a big boy. That clear and deep gaze caused some ripples in her heart. She couldn't help but think of the charming healing back then. Her mind was in a strange state of mind, and a barely visible blush crept up her cheeks under the moonlight. In a month's time, the Tianhu Empire and the other 8 countries were all under the control of the desolate country. Under the iron and blood method, they were all under control. In the Stone City, a vast palace was born a month later. The palace was carved with dragons and painted with phoenixes, and the doors were wide and red pillars. Looking up, one could see many palaces, and there was no end in sight. The palace was dazzling with gold and jade, with a golden roof and red doors. It exuded an ancient charm, giving people a sense of solemnity. The Du family remained untouched and remained in the center of the palace, including the barren mountain that had become a treasure land. It was full of vitality, and multicolored light soared into the sky. Under the moonlight shrouded the sky. Whoosh! A purple-robed figure appeared in the back mountain of the Du family, looking at the palace around him. The palace was carved with dragons, golden scales, and golden armor. They were vivid and lifelike, as if they wanted to soar into the sky. The golden glazed roof tiles shone with a dazzling light under the moonlight, just like golden islands. Pust! A figure appeared beside the purple-robed youth. His gray robe fluttered slightly, and his aura was soul-stirring. "Congratulations, Elder Yi, for making another breakthrough." Du Xiaofu turned around and smiled. It was the Medicine King Yi Wuming, who had been in seclusion for a long time. At this moment, Yi Wuming's aura was already in the midst of a breakthrough. "Congratulations to you too, for unifying the 10 nations." Yi Wuming smiled. Du Xiaofu looked directly at the Medicine King, and on his determined face, his clear eyes shone with a golden glow under the moonlight. He said, "Back then, I promised Elder Yi that within 5 years, the world would conquer the 10 nations for you. Now, there are 10 nations in total, although it will be a little later. You have already done it. Back then, I only wanted you to conquer an empire within 5 years." Medicine King Yi Wuming looked at Du Xiaofu and said with a faint smile, "I didn't misjudge you. Thank you for everything you have done over the years, Elder Yi. In the future, the barren nation will still rely on you. Du Xiaofu smiled and looked at Yi Wuming. He smiled and said, I am very grateful. I actually didn't do anything. Instead, I obtained a lot of great opportunities, Yi Wuming said softly. He knew what he had obtained over the years. Kid, get ready. In the middle of the palace, there was a towering golden hall, and a voice sounded. Hearing this, Du Xiaofu darted out and entered the hall. In the spacious hall, the stone dragon was entrenched on the stone pillars, and it was dazzling. Zhen Qingchun condensed a handprint in his hand, and an invisible energy was released. He quietly disappeared into the space. Rumble, at this moment, outside the barren nation, the stone dragon empire was shaking. At the same time, the Tianhu empire was shaking, and the tides were rising. In the Zhenhong empire, there was thunder and lightning, and the clouds were surging. In the sky above the 9 original empires, there were terrifying runes soaring into the sky. In the end, they were invisibly connected to the sky, and there was a faint trace of mystery between them. Build the dragon vein. Zhen Qingchun shouted. Terrifying runes burst out from his body and finally soared into the sky, shaking the hall. The whole stone city was filled with thunder, and the earth was shaking. A terrifying rune light column spread out, and it seemed to be connected to the 9 dazzling runes in the sky. In the moonlit night, above the sky, a terrifying scene appeared in front of everyone's eyes. The whole barren nation was suddenly in turmoil, and the earth was shaking. Lightning flashed and thunder roared in the sky, and the faintly spreading terrifying pressure made everyone's expression change. That was the momentum of heaven and earth, and the pressure of heaven and earth was descending. Xiaofu, the new seal has been completed. The next step is up to you. Connect the dragon vein, and use the new seal to suppress the eye of the dragon vein. Open up the great fortune of the new nation, and the imperial power must be bestowed by heaven. The voice of the weapon lord came out, and a golden light shone in his hand, and he threw it to Du Xiaofu. The 8 imperial seals were refined, and the tyrant's shadow was remade. Roar! On the tyrant's shadow, the dragon roared endlessly. Du Xiaofu held the tyrant's shadow tightly. At this time, the shadow of a golden dragon was entrenched on the tyrant's shadow, and the golden light was like a rising sun, with a mysterious and ancient aura. On the tyrant's shadow, the light rose as if it was affecting heaven and earth, and the pressure spread throughout the entire stone city. So powerful! Du Xiaofu was stunned. At this moment, the tyrant's shadow radiated with radiance, as if it could resonate with the heavens and earth, forming an extremely powerful and majestic force. It was almost comparable to the heavenly palace of purple gold. What's going on? What a strong aura, it's too strong. The whole stone city trembled, and countless people walked out, looking at the palace with trembling eyes. Look, it's the Rock Emperor. Someone immediately saw a familiar figure holding a golden sword above the palace. It was the Rock Emperor of the barren country. High up in the sky, Du Xiaofu's hand seals were formed, and the tyrant's shadow was filled with golden light. As the hand seals changed, Du Xiaofu's body was filled with light, invisibly connecting with the tyrant's shadow, and finally with the dazzling runes in the sky. Rumble! Immediately, the entire sky began to rumble and tremble. Endless energy filled the sky, and then the space distorted. Finally, under countless shocked gazes, it turned into the shadow of a golden dragon. Roar, roar, roar! At the same time, in the distance of the night sky, there were endless dragon roars, and a total of 9 golden dragon shadows soared into the sky, exuding an ancient and terrifying aura. 10 golden dragons coiled in the sky, and finally, under countless shocked gazes, they condensed into a giant golden dragon shadow that was thousands of feet long. An earth-shattering dragon roar resounded between heaven and earth. Roar! The giant golden dragon that was thousands of feet long seemed to cover the sky as it coiled in the sky. Its power was enough to destroy everything, and it was comparable to a real dragon. What a terrifying aura! Building the dragon veins of the 10 nations, borrowing the chi of heaven and earth, each new generation surpasses the previous one. No wonder he's called a prodigy of the sacred array. In mid-air, the weapon master quietly appeared in the void. Looking at the 10,000-meter-long illusory golden dragon that was entrenched in the sky, his fiery eyes were full of admiration. Roar! The 1,000-foot-long golden dragon's shadow roared at Du Xiaofu, as if it wanted to suppress Du Xiaofu. A terrifying aura was released, causing countless people to gasp. Du Xiaofu looked up, his purple robe fluttering, and his body was wrapped in golden light. With the tyrant's shadow in his hand, he was fearless of the giant golden dragon. Instead of retreating, he moved forward, step by step. Chapter 1022. Roar! The 1,000-foot-long golden dragon's roar shook the clouds. Golden light shone brightly and twisted the void. It contained a mysterious power. Endless fate energy blended with heaven and earth as if it could resonate with heaven and earth. It formed a powerful and majestic force that wanted to stop Du Xiaofu. Under such a terrifying aura, it was as if heaven's fate energy was overwhelming. All the creatures in the surroundings trembled. Countless people turned pale and their bodies trembled. Under such terrifying power, Du Xiaofu held his head high and walked forward fearlessly. Mysterious runes began to flicker in his body and covered his entire body. A magnificent and desolate aura spread out from his body. The majestic and desolate aura made people feel as if they were facing a king that couldn't be resisted. A domineering killing intent rippled through the sky, and an aura that made people's souls palpitate made all living beings feel fear. Boom! Immediately, the entire sky was filled with thunderclouds, and the rumbling of thunder could be heard without end. The 1,000-foot-long golden dragon's shadow suddenly stopped. It didn't dare to approach under the magnificent and desolate aura. Du Xiaofu strode out in a domineering manner, looking disdainfully in all directions. The 1,000-foot-long golden dragon roared with fear in its eyes. In the end, it began to prostrate before Du Xiaofu in front of countless trembling eyes. Suppress! Du Xiaofu stepped on the head of the golden dragon's shadow. In the magnificent and desolate aura, there was an unparalleled domineering aura. Stepping on the golden dragon, lightning flashed in his eyes. The tyrant's shadow in his hand pierced into the dragon's head. The rolling golden light was immediately devoured by the sword. Roar! Countless dragon roars came out from the tyrant's shadow and devoured the huge golden dragon's shadow. Countless people were shocked. At this moment, a terrifying aura gathered on Du Xiaofu's body. It was the aura of a supreme being, as if he was the supreme being of heaven and earth. How can this guy's aura be so powerful? Even the dragon vein is prostrating. In the sky, the scene also surprised the revered weapon. It's not strange. Back in the Stone Dragon Empire, the dragon chi in the palace was already prostrating. The dragon vein came from heaven and earth and was the most hierarchical. It would submit to gods, sages, and supreme beings. Zhen Qingchun smiled and said to Venerable Weapon. That guy shouldn't be a sage, right? Then he can only be the reincarnation of a god or a supreme being. The Honorable Weapon's eyes flickered. Then, he smiled and said, it seems like I was worried for nothing. With a life weapon as the seal, this won't be a problem for him. Whether he is the reincarnation of a deity, a supreme being, or something else, he can handle the great fortune of heaven and earth. The 10 nations have been unified, and the name of the nation is Desolate. Those who cause trouble in my desolate nation will be killed. Anyone who dares to touch my desolate country will be killed. Du Xiaofu held the tyrant's shadow in his hand as he spoke. Above the tyrant's shadow, there was an illusory golden dragon that moved. Its voice was like a dragon's roar, shaking the heavens and earth. That aura was like 10,000 thunderbolts, resonating and shaking the 9 heavens. The purple-robed young man was shrouded in golden light. Around him, illusory images of golden dragons circled in the air. It was like a holy relic. Heavenly might filled the air, as if a sovereign was descending upon the world. That terrifying might caused everyone's expression to change and they trembled. Greetings, Rock Emperor. Inside and outside the stone city, countless people knelt down. Under the domineering might of a sovereign descending upon the world, they could not help but tremble. At this moment, the void was filled with golden light. Du Xiaofu's body was surrounded by lightning and the illusory golden dragon was entrenched. It looked like a holy relic descending upon the world. In the vast sky, a mysterious and mighty force seeped out from heaven and earth. Finally, it gathered in the stone city's imperial palace. Du Xiaofu released his mind and connected with the dragon vein. At this moment, he could feel that everything in the 10 nations was invisibly connected. On this day, the 10 nations were unified. There was a strange phenomenon in the stone city, and heavenly might descended. The Rock Emperor descended upon the world and was recorded in the annals of history. When the news spread, the middle ground was shaken, and the name of the desolate nation spread throughout the middle ground. The demon king, Du Xiaofu, was a supreme being. The disciples of the Great Will sect dared to kill him, and the Sky Snake sect's supremacy experts were instantly killed. At such a young age, it was said that he was already a martial supremacy. With the appearance of the desolate nation, the name of the demon king Du Xiaofu spread throughout the central state once again. Within the barren nation, there were pardons and conferments. The holy array prodigy of Zhenqing Chun, the imperial advisor of the barren nation, medicine king Yi Wuming, was not only a consecrator of the world society, he was also conferred the title of Duke Xingua. The North Vanquishing Prince, South Vanquishing Prince, West Vanquishing Prince, East Vanquishing Prince, and other kings of the Stone Dragon Empire were still the kings of the barren nation. The North Vanquishing Prince, South Vanquishing Prince, West Vanquishing Prince, and East Vanquishing Prince were still the kings of the barren nation. The North Vanquishing Prince, Xia Tianhong, was the first king. The Solitary Sword King, the Golden Condor King, the Mysterious Dragon King, the Stone Turtle King and many other experts had already reached the emperor level, but they were still bestowed with the title of king by the desolate country. There were a total of 64 Iron Hat Kings and 1008 Iron Hat Marquises. They were all bestowed with the title of emperor. Among them, the most surprising thing was that Murong Yorua had been appointed by Emperor Long Feng to become the first prime minister of the desolate country. She had taken charge of the new seal on behalf of the Great Rock Emperor. Her status was even higher than that of the first Iron Hat Crown Prince. Anyone with a discerning eye knew that this was the Rock Emperor declaring his position to the outside world. No one in the Du clan dared to say anything. Although the group of elders did not understand, no one dared to be dissatisfied. It was not difficult for the Du clan members who had targeted and suspected Murong Yorua to understand the Great Rock Emperor's intentions. Not long after the appearance of the desolate country, Zhu Shui of the Profound Talisman sect personally came to the desolate country. Later on, some people saw the Rock Emperor and Zhu Shui of the Profound Talisman sect appear alone in the Savage Beast mountain range. It was enough to show that the two of them had an extraordinary relationship. It was likely that the desolate country and the Profound Talisman sect no longer held grudges. Back when the Sky Snake sect's experts were all killed, the Sky Snake sect declared that they would make the Demon King, Du Xiaofu, pay the price. However, they did not do anything in the end. The Profound Underworld sect and Spirit Sky Valley did not make any moves, as if they had forgotten about it. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, another month had passed. It was another month. The desolate country was unified. The remaining matters were only a matter of time. Murong Yorua, Du Yunlong, Du Xiaoman, Li Shui, Guo Kun, Han Xian, and the others were all able to handle it. During this month, Du Xiaofu oversaw the central hall of the imperial palace. It was named the Golden Rock Hall. It was the place where the dragon veins gathered. It nourished the imperial palace's draconic aura. With the overbearing shadow guarding it, he comprehended the profound and absorbed the imperial palace's draconic aura. At dusk, the radiant sun slowly penetrated the thin clouds. The sunset spread, and the clouds covered half the sky. Each layer was fainter than the previous one, enveloping the entire stone city. Walala. In the Savage Beast mountain range, Du Xiaofu was practicing his fist technique on a towering mountain peak. Fist imprints condensed in Du Xiaofu's hands, outlining the space in front of him. Then, he continuously punched out with his palm. Du Xiaofu's figure was like a god, changing unpredictably. But at this moment, Du Xiaofu's fist technique was extremely simple. If there are worries in the heart, there will be worries and fetters. If there are forms of fists and palms, there will be flaws. Follow the heart, release the heart, and use strength to break through all techniques. Du Xiaofu punched out one fist after another as he murmured softly. Those seemingly simple punches and palms were seen by a true expert at this moment. Only then would they understand that the simple changes in the punches and palms contained great mysteries. Du Xiaofu's punches and palms became more and more overbearing and fierce. On the mountain peak, muffled sounds were constantly heard. Du Xiaofu's figure leaped as he punched out with his palms. He was like a ferocious beast or a divine bird. Suddenly, Du Xiaofu's body paused for a moment, as if he had thought of something. Golden light suddenly shone from his clear eyes, and an incomparably domineering aura abruptly spread out from his tall and straight body. Boom! The aura swept out and the mountain peak trembled and cracked. Du Xiaofu's hand seals condensed again. That terrifying aura was like a peerless ferocious beast or a divine bird that wanted to soar into the sky. He suddenly condensed a fist in his hand and slammed it down on the mountain peak under his feet. Roar! This punch was faintly accompanied by a dragon's roar and a divine elephant's cry, causing the surrounding void to rumble. High in the sky, lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. The aura was incomparably overbearing, looking down on all living things. Rumble, the punch with a domineering aura fell fiercely. Starting from the peak of the mountain, the towering mountain peak suddenly cracked and exploded. The terrifying energy turned into runic ripples, like a tsunami, suddenly sweeping out in the void. On the surrounding mountain peaks, rocks exploded, suddenly shaking and collapsing. Towering trees broke, rocks turned into fine powder, cracks spread on the ground, and gullies appeared on the ground as if it was destroyed. This space shook violently. The invisible overbearing aura shook the space, causing spatial ripples to roll over and over. Between heaven and earth, it suddenly seemed like endless thunder. Monstrous energy instantly exploded, and an extremely terrifying energy storm swept out in an instant. Roar! In the depths of the barbaric beast mountain range, countless demonic beasts roared and hissed, revealing fear. When everything calmed down, the surrounding area had been completely destroyed. I've finally succeeded. From now on, I'll call it Overbearing Fist Dao. Du Xiaofu stood in the void, looking at the large mountain range that he had just destroyed, with a smile on his face. Under the foundation and guidance of the Hegemon Sword Way, he had comprehended the Hegemon Fist Way from the mysterious move he had comprehended from the first stone tablet outside the Du family. Suddenly, Du Xiaofu raised his head, looking in the direction of the stone city, and his face suddenly changed. There are experts coming, and they don't come with good intentions. Du Xiaofu frowned, and his figure suddenly swept across the sky, disappearing in an instant. Under the setting sun, the curtain of night approached. In the sunset, there was a slight distortion in the space, and then from the distorted space, there were dozens of figures slowly stepping out. When the dozens of figures stepped out, not many people paid attention to them. They were clearly in the void, but it was as if they were blurred in front of their eyes. The dozens of figures swept across the surroundings, and then directly stepped into the void towards the stone city's imperial palace. Their bodies were wrapped in dazzling light, and the halo was as dazzling as the sun, with an ancient and terrifying aura rippling. Du Xiaofu, come with us. Among the dozens of dazzling figures, a figure walked out, with a terrifying aura rippling, and a rumbling sound like a drum. Chapter 1023. A middle-aged man walked out. His eyes glowed with a strange light, and his aura was ancient and powerful. Whoosh! Whoosh! Many figures flew out from the palace and floated in the air. They were Du Shaoqing, Du Xiaoyao, Little Tiger, Medicine King Yi Wuming, Du Yunlong, Du Xiaoman, and Yi Piaoling, who had just returned. Sensing the auras of the dozens of figures, Du Shaoqing and the others immediately frowned as their expressions hardened. Who are you? Why are you looking for my brother? Du Shaoqing asked. She could feel that the other party was extraordinary and powerful. Their aura was similar to that of the strong cultivator in the space. They were terrifying existences. Demonic beast aura. Your bloodline doesn't seem weak. The middle-aged man looked at Du Shaoqing. He could feel that Du Shaoqing was extraordinary. His gaze swept across the entire place indifferently. He did not take them seriously at all and said, "Ask Du Xiaofu to come out. You lowly creatures from the outside world don't deserve to waste our time." Hearing those words, everyone raised their heads and a cold glint flashed across their eyes. Where did this self-righteous thing come from? Do you want to die? Little Tiger's temper was not good. The blood flowing in his body was the blood of the dark sky tiger, the emperor of beasts. How could he let others be so presumptuous? You're courting death. The middle-aged man was taken aback when he heard this. Then, he sneered and reached out to grab Little Tiger as he shouted. Under this claw, monstrous runes surged. It was as if a brilliant light covered the sky and covered the sun. In the blink of an eye, the claw print became dozens of feet large. It wanted to tear the space apart and crush Little Tiger. Whoosh! Within the claw mark, violent ripples undulated and surged, continuously spreading out. The terrifying pressure caused the faces of the citizens who had surged out from the stone city to change. Under the paw print, a large area of space rippled as if it was about to be torn apart. In a flash, it appeared in front of the Little Tiger. Let me do it. This guy is already a half-step martial honorable. Just as the Little Tiger was about to attack, Du Shaoqing flew out from Du Xiaoyao's shoulder. Golden light swept out, and a terrifying aura erupted. It was as if a terrifying lord had come into being. In the next moment, a dazzling golden light exploded like the sun, illuminating the entire Twilight Stone City as if it were daytime. The terrifying aura gave off an unparalleled sense of oppression. Du Xiaoyao transformed into a giant golden ape. Her translucent body was wrapped in multicolored light. Her innate spiritual eyes could see everything in the world. She suddenly punched out. The hazy radiance in front of the fist was like the beginning of the world. The space in front of the fist was blurry and distorted, as if it could push through the four directions and suppress everything. In the blink of an eye, the fist and claw violently collided. A low muffled sound resounded in the sky, allowing the entire stone city to clearly hear it. Boom. The sound waves were sonorous and deafening. Runes and energy filled the sky and covered the earth. The vast and mighty energy swept through the sky like a torrent, causing everyone's pupils to shrink. Thud thud, the middle-aged man's pupils shrank. His expression was filled with shock as he suddenly retreated more than 10 steps. Only then did he stabilize his body. A trace of blood then flowed from the corner of his mouth. At this moment, the giant golden ape was like a boulder. It was unshakable and extremely domineering. This result caused the dozens of people who had arrived to be immediately shocked. It looks like a red-bone horse ape. Could it really be that kind of creature? Among the dozens of people, a few of the older people looked at each other, trying to guess the identity of the golden ape. If it really is a red-bone horse ape, then this trip has not been in vain. We'll know once we bring it back. An old man spoke. He looked at Du Xiaoyao's golden ape body with joy in his eyes. Little thing, when I was born, your grandfather wasn't even born yet. How dare you have designs on me? The old man's words caused Du Xiaoyao to fly into a rage. She opened her mouth and cursed. Presumptuous. Hearing this, the old man was instantly enraged. His aura immediately began to surge. Your tribe is really domineering and arrogant. As the old man spoke, a figure descended from the sky. The newcomer's purple robe fluttered in the wind. His voice was faint and deep. Then, he swept his gaze across the crowd. His clear eyes trembled slightly with a complicated expression, then quietly withdrew them. The newcomer was Du Xiaofu. He recognized the newcomers at a glance. Standing at the front was an old man who looked to be in his 50s. He was the one who had brought Du Xiaofu to that tribe. He seemed to be called Protector Qingyu. As Du Xiaofu's figure appeared, Protector Qingyu's eyes suddenly trembled. He really didn't die. He can still live after having his heart dug out. This is too strange. He's really alive. He's too similar to Xiaojing's. Among the dozens of figures, there were many exclamations of surprise. Brother! President! Du Xiaoqing, Du Xiaoyao, Yi Piaoling, Medicine King Yi Wuming, and the others immediately gathered beside Du Xiaofu. Their expressions were slightly serious. They knew that the dozens of people who had arrived were not ordinary. The middle-aged man who had attacked just now was only a pawn, but he was already so powerful. Du Xiaofu waved his hand slightly behind him, indicating for the crowd to step back. That tribe was too powerful and he had to face them personally. Lad, since you're not dead, come back with us. Protector Qingyu spoke as he looked at Du Xiaofu. His eyes were filled with the disdain of a high-level creature toward a low-level creature. Why? Because you're a complete martial honorable? Or because you're from that tribe? Du Xiaofu looked at Protector Qingyu. His gaze was calm, but there was an invisible sneer in his eyes. Protector Qingyu's expression gradually turned gloomy. He stared coldly at the purple-robed youth in front of him, as if he had not expected that the lad who should have been dead back then would dare to mock and ridicule him at this moment. It was rumored that this lad was a sovereign heaven's pride, which had caused quite a commotion in the outside world. When the tribe found out, they were extremely puzzled. To prevent further complications, they had come to bring him back. After learning that this lad was related to the ancient heaven sect, the tribe had brought more people this time. Boom! Just as Protector Qingyu's expression was extremely gloomy, Du Xiaofu's figure fiercely took a step forward. At the same time, a majestic aura spread out from his tall and straight body. Martial Honorable. When Protector Qingyu felt this aura, his eyes immediately froze on his old face. The lad in front of him had actually broken through to the martial honorable level. Back in that tribe, that lad was only a martial king and had even dug out his own heart. Back then, when that lad's cultivation was only at the martial king level, Protector Qingyu could treat him as an ant. However, now that he was a martial honorable, even Protector Qingyu's expression changed. Martial honorable level. Among the younger generation in the tribe, there were definitely less than 40 people who had broken through to the martial honorable level. Therefore, at this moment, how could Protector Qingyu's expression not change? In just a few years, the lad whose heart had been dug out back then had actually grown to such a level. TSK, I never thought that a person like you, who should have been dead, would have the chance to become a martial honorable. So what if you've just become a martial honorable? It seems that many things have happened to you. Obediently follow us back. After being shocked for a moment, Protector Qingyu's lips curled into a cold smile. Protector Qingyu did not need to care about a martial honorable who had just become a martial honorable. He did not need to be wary of ordinary martial honorables in the outside world, let alone a martial honorable who had just become a martial honorable. Old ignorant man, you're not qualified. Du Xiaofu shouted and laughed coldly. His cold gaze swept across Elder Qingyu. The aura of a perfect martial honorable. To the current Du Xiaofu, Yunmu was more than enough to deal with him. Even if Du Xiaofu himself were to attack, Du Xiaofu would not be afraid. Back then, this person had brought Du Xiaofu to the tribe and caused him to suffer humiliation and oppression. How could Du Xiaofu forget that kind of humiliation and oppression? He would always remember it in his heart. Now that they had met again, Du Xiaofu had never been a generous person. The coldness in his eyes was self-evident. Elder, Protector Qingyu, leave this person to me. Let me see how weak the mysterious martial honorables in the outside world are. Suddenly, a young man in armor stepped out from among the dozens of figures. He looked to be around 23 or 24 years old. He had an imposing appearance and was very extraordinary. Han Yu, I'll leave him to you. Qingyu nodded and laughed coldly. It's fine as long as he stays alive and returns to the tribe. I got it. The armored young man called Han Yu nodded. His body was wrapped in light as he slowly walked out. After taking 3 steps, a terrifying aura suddenly swept through the sky, causing the clouds in all directions to tremble. As the ancient aura fluctuated, those with weaker cultivations on the ground trembled and prostrated themselves on the ground. The mysterious martial honorable realm. Du Xiaofu raised his head slightly. This person was not much older than him, but he was already a mysterious martial honorable. This showed how strong that tribe was. To think that such a young martial honorable could appear in the outside world. This is surprising and makes my hands itch. The young man in armor looked at Du Xiaofu with unparalleled confidence and pride. He was the best of his generation in the tribe. The people of the outside world were nothing in his eyes. He smiled coldly. However, you have just become a martial honorable. Before me, you are no different from an insignificant martial emperor. Do you want to surrender or do you want me to beat you up? Make your choice. I've killed quite a few mysterious martial honorables. I don't mind killing one more today. Du Xiaofu looked at the arrogant young man in front of him. Regardless of whether it was the tribe or the young man in front of him, he did not like him. Naturally, he would not be polite. Chapter 1024. Upon hearing Du Xiaofu's words, Han Yu's handsome face gradually turned gloomy. He stared at Du Xiaofu with eyes filled with coldness. At this moment, Du Xiaofu stepped into the air as he stared at Han Yu. His purple robes fluttered in the wind. Golden light flashed deep within his clear eyes, emitting a domineering aura. The surrounding crowd looked at these 2 young men, who were about the same age but had incomparably tyrannical auras, facing each other head-on. Their gazes were secretly moved, and there was a meaningful look in their eyes. Han Yu's gloomy gaze stared intently at Du Xiaofu. A strange smile finally appeared on his cold and handsome face. It was filled with a sinister aura as he said, "Do you think that you have the right to be arrogant in front of me just because you played with those children in my clan back then? Being a supreme genius is just a joke. In front of a true expert, it is just a child's game that is not worth mentioning. It does not have much value." His voice was dark and cold as it reverberated in the surrounding air. The coldness in Han Yu's eyes caused the surrounding temperature to rapidly drop. Du Xiaofu looked at Han Yu, seemingly unaffected by the latter's words. He was relaxed and carried a faint smile as he said, "You only have that clan behind you. Without that clan, what are you? You have truly angered me." Han Yu was truly furious. His voice was emitted from between his teeth. His anger could no longer be suppressed or concealed. Han Yu had originally only wanted to take a stroll in the outside world. Who would have thought that the brat would look down on him in such a manner? A mere ant from the outside world actually dared to be disrespectful to him. If news of this were to spread back to the clan, he would become a laughing stock in the future. The aura on Han Yu's body began to surge after his words sounded. It gradually surged and overflowed into the sky like a vast ocean, causing Yi Wuming, Little Tiger and the rest in the desolate country to turn solemn. Are you angry just because of this? Your eyes are higher than the sky, but unfortunately, your heart is as thin as paper. Du Xiaofu shook his head faintly, and his expression gradually turned cold. Brat, do you think that I won't dare to kill you just because I want to take you back? At most, I'll delay your death by a few days. Han Yu's voice was cold, and a chill shot out from between his teeth. I really don't know where your sense of superiority comes from. Du Xiaofu laughed coldly. The young man in front of him had a natural sense of superiority towards the outside world, and yet he dared to act so impudently, treating the lives of the living beings of the outside world as if they were ants. Coupled with the hatred of that clan, Du Xiaofu's heart was burning with rage. You will soon know where our sense of superiority comes from. Han Yu couldn't bear it any longer and finally took the initiative to attack. She directly slammed her palm towards Du Xiaofu. Sand and pebbles were sent flying from the stone city below. A terrifying shockwave swept out and enveloped Du Xiaofu. Humph! Du Xiaofu coldly snorted. He waved his sleeve, and a mysterious golden talisman swept out, blocking the shockwave from the former's shockwave. In an instant, the shockwave in the air soared into the sky and turned into a huge wave. Many buildings in the stone city below cracked, and the ground shook. The two of them exchanged blows, and it seemed that they were evenly matched. Neither of them had the upper hand. Han Yu's eyes moved. He was just testing the waters. He didn't expect that Du Xiaofu would actually take it. Bastard, this is my desolate country. Du Xiaofu, on the other hand, was cursing loudly. When martial saints fought, the shockwaves from the qi could very well destroy his stone city and the newly built imperial palace. Seeing the buildings below crack and the earth shake, his heart ached. I don't care what relationship you have with Xiaojing. In my heart, you are just a jumping clown. Do you really think that you have the right to be arrogant in front of me just because you are some bullshit martial venerables? Han Yu's figure soared into the sky and took another step forward. A majestic aura rushed out from his body like a wave, and immediately swept across the sky above the stone city. Brat, remember me, Han Yu. In the future, this name will be your nightmare, and you will never be able to surpass me. Han Yu's handsome face revealed a sinister smile as he laughed coldly. Terrifying mysterious talisman patterns fluctuated, and an ancient aura descended. He condensed a hand seal, and finally, the mysterious talisman patterns wrapped around his fist. Han Yu's figure swooped down like a meteorite, and turned into a flash of lightning. He carried that terrifying fist and directly shot towards Du Xiaofu. Boom! Han Yu's figure swept out, and the space in front of his fist was distorted. His figure fell like a meteorite, and a low muffled sound was endless. Han Yu's cultivation is at the mysterious martial venerable level. Even the Nirvana martial venerables outside would find it difficult to resist. Under the ancient heaven-shaking fist, that brat is courting death. Protector Qing Yu sneered. He didn't put Du Xiaofu in his eyes at all, and was just watching the show. Du Xiaofu looked at the incoming fist calmly, and he didn't have the slightest intention of dodging. He just waved his hand faintly, and golden talismans flickered mysteriously. Suddenly, they condensed into a Dupeng golden wing in front of him, protecting him under the golden talisman patterns. The golden wing protection was the technique of the Dupeng golden wing, and it was the ultimate defensive technique of the golden wing Dupeng clan. Boom! In the blink of an eye, the fist landed, and the terrifying monstrous energy surged into Du Xiaofu's body. It directly destroyed the golden talisman patterns in the shape of the golden wing, and a terrifying airwave swept across the sky. Boom! Du Xiaofu's body was directly pushed back by a step. Han Yu was indeed terrifying. The mysterious martial venerable was able to destroy his golden wing protection, and he was even able to push him back by a step. Du Xiaofu reckoned that even an ordinary martial venerable at the Nirvana realm wouldn't be able to hurt his physical body. However, Han Yu was able to destroy the golden wing protection, and he was still able to push him back. The blood qi in his body was also surging. Putting everything aside, Han Yu was definitely terrifying. He was definitely much more powerful than Jiu Jiuling and Dongli Qi Huang. However, Du Xiaofu was only pushed back by a step. He then stomped his foot on the void, and his figure quickly counterattacked. At the same time, a bright talisman pattern exploded in front of Du Xiaofu, and a bright golden handprint suddenly floated above his palm. The light was dazzling, and there was an unparalleled aura spreading out. Xiaoyang seal. Du Xiaofu shouted coldly. In a flash, the Xiaoyang seal directly landed on Han Yu's chest. Everything happened in a flash, and a palm was exchanged for a fist. No one would have thought that Du Xiaofu would fight in such a way. Even Han Yu did not expect this. All of a sudden, a low muffled sound of energy rang out from Han Yu's chest. Bang! The handprint landed, and a terrifying golden rune energy ripple swept out like a stormy sea. The space around Han Yu's body faintly collapsed, and there was a circle of black vacuum traces. It was as if his defense was being destroyed. Pfft! In the next moment, Han Yu's body was like a bird with broken wings. He fell from mid-air and crashed into the stone city, causing the courtyard to collapse into ruins. Blood spurted out of his mouth. As Han Yu fell into the courtyard, Du Xiaofu was expressionless, and his body pounced again. It was unknown when the golden light surged in his eyes, but it was replaced by a purplish gold color. There were electric arcs fluctuating in his eyes, and a thunderbolt swept out, bombarding the ruins where Han Yu had fallen. Ah! As the thunderbolt swept in, Han Yu's miserable shriek was immediately heard. The surrounding ruins collapsed and exploded, and his miserable body was exposed on the ground. He was covered in blood, and electric arcs covered his body. Du Xiaofu's figure swept down, and he glanced at him. Then, he ruthlessly stomped on Han Yu's chest. Pfft! Du Xiaofu's foot landed, and Han Yu once again let out a miserable shriek and spat out blood. All of this caused the dozens of people in the clan to be so shocked that they did not recover from their shock. They could not believe the scene in front of them. At this moment, when they recovered from their shock, it was too late to stop everything. At this moment, Du Xiaofu could crush Han Yu's chest at any time with just a little bit of force, causing him to lose his life in the stone city. An embroidered pillow, unable to withstand a single blow. Du Xiaofu looked down at Han Yu with a sneer in his eyes. There was disdain in his eyes, and he said, "How much of a sense of superiority do you have now?" Han Yu lifted his head to look at Lin Fan's face that was looking down at him. He wanted to struggle, but he realized that he had been crushed by a great pressure. Shock and fear finally appeared in Han Yu's eyes. They had just exchanged blows, and he had been defeated in one move. Moreover, he had been defeated in such a miserable manner. "Remember my name, Du Xiaofu. From now on, this is your nightmare." Du Xiaofu glanced indifferently at Han Yu, who was under his feet. He thought that the mysterious martial honorable was not too difficult to deal with. High up in the sky, the dozens of powerhouses from the clan looked on, and they were deeply shocked. Perhaps at this moment, they finally understood that the young man from a few years ago in the clan was no longer the same. Back then, they could easily control the purple-robed young man. Now, he had gradually grown up, and a young eagle could already spread its wings. "Kid, let go of Han Yu and come with us. Otherwise, you will not be able to bear the consequences." After Protector Qing Yu recovered from his shock, he immediately shouted. His old face was extremely embarrassed. Bang! Du Xiaofu responded to Protector Qing Yu by viciously stomping his foot on Han Yu's chest, causing him to cry out in pain and spit out blood again. "Old thing, why don't you try threatening me again?" Du Xiaofu stepped on Han Yu's chest and looked directly at Guardian Qing Yu as he asked, "From now on, you only have to answer my questions. Otherwise, I'm afraid this kid who can't withstand a single blow is going to suffer a little." "Kid, do you know what you're doing?" Protector Qing Yu said angrily. A cold light surged from his eyes. Chapter 1025. Ah! With a shrill cry, Han Yu spat out blood once again. Du Xiaofu's foot landed and stomped his body almost into the hard stone floor. Brat! Qing Yu was furious, stamping with rage, her aura surging. "Old thing, if you say one more word, I'll kill this weak fellow. He will die because of you, so you can't blame me. Or do you want to see if I dare to kill him?" Du Xiaofu interrupted Protector Qingyu with a cold look in his eyes. Protector Qingyu froze in midair and did not dare to speak. However, if looks could kill, it would not be enough for Du Xiaofu to die 10 times under Han Yu's gaze. Has my sister Xiaojing recovered? Du Xiaofu asked. Protector Qingyu hesitated for a moment and replied coldly after the leading elder nodded secretly, Xiaojing has recovered and is safe and sound. You promised me back then. Is my father in your clan now? Du Xiaofu continued to ask. He was relieved that his sister Xiaojing was safe and sound. What he was most worried about now was his alcoholic father. Hearing this, Qingyu's expression changed slightly and he was hesitant. Speak. Du Xiaofu shouted and his gaze was cold. Looking at Qingyu's expression, it did not seem like a good thing. Brat, you're too naive. How can an outsider be qualified to enter the clan? What's the harm in telling you? We went to look for him and wanted to get rid of all future troubles. There has been no news, but recently there was some news that Du Tingxian entered Tianhuang mainland and was chased by many experts. I'm afraid he's dead for sure now. Qingyu sneered. It was absolutely impossible to let Du Tingxian into the clan. He was already being merciful by not taking Du Tingshuan's life back then. As for the promise that the clan made to Du Xiaofu, who would take the words of a dead person to heart? However, they did not expect to find out years later that the person who was bound to die back then was still alive miraculously and seemed to have obtained many opportunities. That was why the clan was curious and wanted to know more. What is Tianhuang mainland? What is going on? Did you guys not take the promise you made back then to heart? When he heard that, Du Xiaofu shouted angrily and his gaze was cold. His alcoholic father Su Yu was in danger and used Daybreak Island. The clan did not take his last request to heart. That had touched Du Xiaofu's daybreak. There are some things that you don't know. You are not qualified. Daybreak. 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 Dayu. Daybreak. 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 Phew. After taking a deep breath, Du Xiaofu looked at the dozens of figures in the sky. Their eyes were filled with a sense of superiority and contempt. It seems that your clan really thinks that I'm easy to bully. Do you think that I'm a pushover that you can pinch at will, or do you really think that I don't dare to kill you? Du Xiaofu said. Kid, Protector Qingyu seemed to want to say something, but then, as if he had seen something extremely shocking, he shouted, How dare you? Kid, what are you doing? Bang. A low, muffled sound rang out like thunder. The earth shook, the mountains shook, and the ground cracked. Before Protector Qingyu could finish speaking, Du Xiaofu stomped his foot viciously. Golden light erupted from the sole of his foot, and Han Yu's chest was smashed into a bloody mist. His body exploded into pieces. Han Yu didn't even have the chance to let out a final scream before his soul was completely destroyed under his eyes filled with despair and shock. Han Yu probably didn't expect that Du Xiaofu would really dare to kill him. The entire city was shocked. For the desolate country, seeing Du Xiaofu kill someone was definitely not a rare thing. However, for that clan, they were all shocked and stunned. Someone had actually killed an extraordinary young man from their clan right in front of them. This was something that not many people had dared to do for countless years. Kid, you can't be forgiven today. In the next moment, they all came back to their senses. Their shock was broken, and the space trembled. The dozens of people from that clan unleashed their auras at the same time. The mysterious runes on their talismans emitted a bright light, forming a divine halo that enveloped their bodies. It was as if a saint had descended. What a powerful aura! The stone city trembled. Everyone felt the auras of the dozens of people, and their eyes trembled. It wasn't fear, but a kind of suppression that came from the soul. It made everyone feel small and insignificant. Just the auras of the dozens of people were enough to shake the world. It was unbearable. Rumble. At the same time, Du Xiaoyao, Little Tiger, Du Xiaoqing, Medicine King Yi Wuming, and many other experts directly surged out their auras and began to confront each other. At this moment, almost half of the dozens of people from that clan had reached the honorable realm. It was enough to show that this time, they had made sufficient preparations for Du Xiaofu to guard against the ancient heaven sect. These dozens of people were definitely powerful enough to destroy everything in the outside world. Du Xiaofu, you killed my clan's people. Surrender. Protector Qing Yu said angrily. His voice was almost like a roar. His body was shining with a terrifying light. Do you think the desolate country is your clan's backyard? Kill. Du Xiaofu stepped into the air and shouted. He was not afraid at all. Only his anger erupted like a volcano. That clan had gone too far. You refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Protector Qing Yu was completely unable to suppress his anger. The mysterious runes on the talisman in his hand went berserk and finally condensed into a seal. It emitted rays of light like a sunset. The pressure immediately spread and shook the stone city. Unbearable aura. In the stone city, countless people went limp. Under Protector Qing Yu's palm, they were like ants. Even their profound qi was suffocating. The palm instantly appeared in front of Du Xiaofu. It emitted a terrifying and ancient fluctuation like a vast ocean. It was difficult for ordinary people to resist. Its power was monstrous. It was not something that an ordinary honorable martial artist could resist. At this moment, even the Medicine King, Little Tiger, and the others behind Du Xiaofu were greatly affected. Their faces were pale, as if their bodies were about to explode from the pressure. This was the terror of an honorable realm expert. Among the billions of people in the world, there were definitely not many who could step into the honorable realm. Qi. At this moment, in a flash, Du Xiaofu waved his hand. A ray of light in the shape of a human flew out from his body. It did not retreat but advanced. It was an awe-inspiring metallic body that was as awe-inspiring as the body of a demon. However, it emitted a sense of perfection that was flawless and flawless. Its body was wrapped and released glowing runes, as if its toughness was even more terrifying than a Tao artifact. The awe-inspiring metal body's limbs and bones wriggled with a sonorous tune. It ignored Protector Qing Yu's palm and attacked fiercely without hesitation. A fist wrapped in runes collided. It was as if the fist was going to shatter space. Boom! As the fist landed, the surrounding space collapsed almost instantly. A pitch-black halo cracked open in the surroundings. A terrifying rune energy aura then spread out from the point of collision. Pfft! A shocking scene appeared. Protector Qing Yu's fist was directly destroyed. His body was then sent flying. He let out a muffled groan and blood spurted out of his mouth. The one who attacked was Du Xiaofu's Yunmu. He had been refined by Yun Guang's supremacy of the Divine Light Court. His strength had reached the peak of the extraordinary martial honorable realm. Although Protector Qing Yu was an expert from that clan, he was only a perfected martial honorable. The Yunmu was extraordinary. Du Xiaofu had activated his full strength in anger and directly injured him. Tyrannical Shadow. Du Xiaofu immediately attacked. Just as Protector Qing Yu was knocked back, he waved his hand, and golden light shot out from the depths of the palace. A golden longsword, imbued with the aura of the great fortune of the world, descended. Tyrannical way of the sword. Du Xiaofu's voice rumbled as he slashed down with his sword. His eyes suddenly shone with golden light and his killing intent soared to the sky. Boom! The sword seemed to have the power to split a mountain. It was simple but tyrannical. There were no fancy moves, but the surrounding space immediately trembled violently. Crash! An incomparably tyrannical aura suddenly spread out from the sword, causing the space to tremble violently. Under the astonished gazes of many members of that clan, wherever Du Xiaofu's sword passed, space seemed to directly collapse, revealing traces of a vacuum. How can he be so strong? Protector Qingyu, who was retreating, seemed to have sensed something. His face was pale and lifeless. Then, he suddenly came back to his senses. His eyes widened as he said in surprise, "This is Dao. You've actually comprehended your own sword Dao. You also have the Imperial Dragon Qi and the aura of heaven and earth on your body." Protector Qingyu, who was already in a sorry state, quickly retreated, not daring to resist. "You're still running." "Too late." Du Xiaofu shouted coldly. His sword radiance swept out and the tyrannical shadow's golden sword whip suddenly swept out like a thunderbolt. It swept across the air unexpectedly. Protector Qingyu's expression changed drastically when he felt the strange change in Du Xiaofu's sword radiance behind him. The terrifying sword light contained a sword intent that made even Qingyu feel fear. The sword intent enveloped the void and climbed up his heart, making him feel fear. He was afraid that if he touched it in a panic, even if he didn't die, he would be heavily injured. Furthermore, the Imperial Dragon Qi was collapsing and the aura of heaven and earth was collapsing. At this moment, even a perfected martial honorable like Qingyu was trembling in fear. Chapter 1026. At this moment, Qingyu finally realized that the young man in front of him, whom he had never even looked at, had become so powerful in just a few years. "Elder Qinqiong, save me." At this moment, Protector Qingyu's eyes were filled with shock. She finally opened her mouth and cried for help. "You have Ao Tong's blood on you, so you're definitely not simple. Unfortunately, it's over now." A faint voice was heard. The leader of the clan, who had been silent all this time, spoke. His figure flashed and froze the space. In an instant, the entire stone city was immobilized. At this moment, Du Xiaofu suddenly trembled. The qi in his body stagnated, and his primordial spirit trembled. Everything was suppressed. "No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, you can't touch my disciple." An old but domineering voice was heard. A figure then appeared in the sky. There were flaming lightning arcs raging in the surrounding void. The frozen space then recovered most of its normalcy. The man's hair danced in the wind, and his eyes were like lightning. It was the weapon-revered Xiahou Fenglei. "You're finally willing to come out. I'd like to see what you're capable of." The leader of the clan looked calm, and his eyes shone with a dazzling light. At the same time, he stretched out his hand, and a terrifying energy gushed out. Dazzling runes appeared, and the vibrating space rippled endlessly, sweeping toward the weapon revered. "You've only stepped foot in the martial field not long ago. I'm not afraid of you." The weapon revered waved his hand, and a wave of flaming lightning turned into a wave that collided with the elder. The two suddenly collided, but there was no thunderous explosion in the void. The two just collided, and then quietly dissipated in the void. "Kill!" In the void, Du Xiaofu did not stop. Although he was surprised by the strength of the leader of the clan, he was not too worried. When the space was restored, Du Xiaofu's golden sword whip swept out like a bolt of lightning, and immediately wrapped around Qingyu. Qingyu hurriedly tried to block with all his strength, and all kinds of protective means were activated, but at this moment, they all seemed hurried and weak. Qi, the leading elder, Qinqiong, appeared behind Qingyu. He held Qingyu in one hand and retreated. Instantly, he seemed to merge with space and was about to escape Du Xiaofu's golden sword whip. However, how could Du Xiaofu let go of this rare opportunity so easily? If it weren't for the lack of the Imperial Palace's dragon aura and hegemon shadow around the palace, it wouldn't be easy to touch Qingyu in the future. Retreat in one piece. That's impossible. We have to leave something behind. Du Xiaofu sneered and poured all of his profound qi into the tyrant shadow. The golden sword whip let out the roar of a dragon and the roar of a rock. Then, its power increased sharply and its light shone brightly, instantly wrapping around Qing Yu's right leg. Qing Yu was pulled back, but she let out a miserable shriek. Her right leg had been cut off by the golden sword whip. Blood splattered in the air. Even a martial revered at the level of great perfection of Qing Yu would not be able to escape having his leg broken. The power of Tyrant Shadow at this moment was not something that mortals could withstand. The venerable weapon approached Du Xiaofu and said, "Be careful, it's the martial domain realm." Slash, slash. After the venerable weapon said that, two silhouettes appeared in the sky. One of them was Jinqing Chun and the other was the venerable golden rock from the ancient sky sect. Hu Sankuan, Shui Ruhan, Yin Machin and the others had gone back to the ancient sky sect, but the venerable golden rock had stayed in Shicheng. When these two people appeared, their invisible auras spread out, causing the eyes of the leader of the clan, Qin Qiong, to shrink slightly. He softly said, "This small place actually has a 9-star and 2 half-regions. Looks like I've underestimated you." Zhen Qingchuan's eyes narrowed slightly. He recognized a few of the people in front of him. They were the people from the clan who had taken Du Xiaofu away back then. In the end, Du Xiaofu's heart was dug out, and he narrowly escaped death. These people probably didn't come here for anything good. "I know who you are. As far as I know, you've been restricted. You can't appear on Kyushu as you wish. Otherwise, someone will deal with you." The venerable golden rock frowned as he looked at the people from that clan. He seemed to know who they were. "Do you think there's anyone in the world who has the strength to restrict us?" asked Qin Qiong, looking at the venerable golden rock. Said the venerable golden rock, "You should ask yourself. If you're not afraid, why don't you come out? You three won't be able to protect that little boy today." Qin Qiong's eyes flickered as he said to Venerable Golden Rock, "Venerable Artifact, and Jinqing Chun, it wasn't easy for the three of you to cultivate to this level. It's best if you don't interfere. Otherwise, I'm afraid you'll only bring disaster upon yourselves." "Ridiculous. If you knew that you couldn't do anything to me, you would have attacked already. I, Xiahou Fenglei, have dominated the central continent for thousands of years. Do you think you can scare me?" Venerable Artifact Master Xiahou Fenglei's terrifying aura rippled out from his body, lightning crackled around him, and he was not afraid of Qin Qiong at all. "Today, none of you will be able to touch a single hair on my disciple." Du Xiaofu looked around. There was only one martial domain realm cultivator among the dozens of people. He said to Jinqing Chun, "Brother Qing Chun, activate the array." "Hee, good. I'd like to see what's so great about that clan," said Jinqing Chun with a cold smile. He formed a seal with his hands and activated the mysterious array that he had set up in the stone city. Boom boom boom. Suddenly, dazzling runes appeared and formed a light screen. It channeled the energy of heaven and earth and combined with the Imperial Palace's dragon qi to protect the stone city. Zhenqing Chun, the prodigy of the sacred array, was able to defeat the 9 superpowers with his attainments in the array. Few people in the central continent could compete with him. One could only imagine the power of the array that he had set up. What a powerful array! The young man from the clan was shocked and his expression turned serious. At that moment, dozens of people were trapped in the array. Light surrounded them and froze the space. "The array is not weak. It's a pity that it can't stop me," said Qin Qiong. He waved his hand and a rolling aura surged out. It turned into countless flames that burned like a prairie fire, trying to destroy the terrifying array. Boom boom boom, the space trembled and runes flickered. There was a faint suppressive aura of heaven and earth. The blazing runes covered the entire stone city. At that moment, it was as bright as day under the night sky. The talisman array shook, but in the end, it still enveloped the stone city like an iron wall. Qin Xiong was unable to tear it apart and he finally started to look serious. Do you think my array is so easy to break? Zhen Qingchen sneered. He had set up the array himself and combined it with the Imperial Palace's dragon chi. Naturally, he knew that a martial domain realm cultivator would not be able to escape without paying the price. Bullying me, coaxing me, lying to me. Do you really think that I don't dare to kill you? The barren country is not a place for you to be impudent. Du Xiaofu was furious. His voice was sharp and majestic. It was like thunder that shook the array. Kill! The Imperial Palace's dragon chi surged and a dragon's roar resounded. Du Xiaofu crossed the space and held the tyrant's shadow in his hand. Sword radiance filled the sky and shook the space. He slashed at the dozens of people trapped in the array. He was going to start a massacre. How dare you! Qin Xiong shouted loudly, his voice like thunder. At this moment, he was also enraged and was about to attack Du Xiaofu. Your opponent is me. The honorable weapon attacked. 3,000 quaking thunder turned into a sea of thunder and was released in the array. Together with Zhen Qingchen, it covered the sky and destroyed everything. Attack! How could the dozens of experts from the clan be weak? Powerful ancient auras swept out. Most of them were at the honorable realm. Now that things have come, we can't be afraid. Kill! The honorable golden rock shouted coldly. Those who had comprehended the golden rock's ultimacy were not cowards. They immediately pounced out and golden light shot out and swept across the sky. Rumble! Yunmu attacked with irresistible force and instantly tore a mysterious honorable martial artist into pieces. The mysterious honorable martial artists from the clan were not immortal. They were also humans. Sizzle, Du Xiaofu waved his sword and chopped down. The terrifying energy turned into ripples of qi and runes. It was like a tsunami that suddenly swept across the void. Roar! Monstrous energy instantly exploded with the roar of the dragon and the roar of the rock. Several martial emperors and a new honorable martial artist were turned into a bloody mist. You provoked me. I don't care who you are. Kill! The holy array prodigy, Zhen Qingchen, laughed coldly and activated the talisman array. Countless terrifying talisman energies, accompanied by the aura of heaven and earth, turned into a terrifying energy storm that swept out in all directions. It was like an arc of light that instantly filled the void. Rumble! Suddenly, under the terrifying energy, it was as if countless lightning bolts were descending. The high-level honorable martial artists from the clan were horrified. They tried their best to resist, but in the end, several of them were still destroyed. At that moment, Du Xiaoqing, Little Tiger, Shou Sha, Phantom, and the others who were in the array could not get involved. Behind them, North Vanquishing Prince and many others could only watch in shock. They could not get close. Nice doctrine artifacts. They're mine. They're all mine. At this moment, Du Xiaoyao's gigantic golden ape body was moving unhindered within the talisman array. His eyes were filled with greed as he swallowed the Dao artifacts and treasures that fell from the clan members one after another. Du Xiaofu stepped into the air, his purple robe fluttering. He held the tyrannical shadow in his hand. His black hair was draped over his shoulders and his golden eyes were filled with lightning. He looked around and there was a faint shadow of a golden dragon around him. He had a majestic aura and his aura filled the sky. It was as if an emperor had descended and crossed the sky. Under this kind of power, even many of the experts in that clan were secretly frightened at this moment. Du Xiaofu, how dare you attack? You'll bring disaster to the entire Du family. Qin Xiong, who was fighting with the honorable weapon, was trapped by the honorable weapon and could not get away. He was exasperated. Then I'll kill all of you. Let's see how you can threaten me. Du Xiaofu's killing intent was fierce. He looked coldly at them and activated the golden rock wings on his back. Golden light rose and he held the tyrannical shadow in his hand and rushed out again. At that moment, Du Xiaofu was furious and wanted to kill them all. Du Xiaofu knew that even if he let these people go, they would definitely send more powerful people to bully him in the future. It was better to kill them until they were afraid. Maybe they would have scruples and he could buy some time. Moreover, these people did not keep their words and had cheated and bullied him. How could he not kill them? Today's update is complete. Chapter 1027. Boom! Du Xiaofu waved his sword. The Imperial Palace's dragon Qi accompanied the overbearing way of the sword and released a terrifying surge of energy. It surged forward like a golden ocean. Whoosh! Yunmu attacked. She was a transcendent martial honorable and had a puppet body. At this moment, she was like a killing machine. Even the experts of that clan would find it difficult to resist. Kill! The dozens of people of that clan also attacked with all their might. Dazzling light rays descended like stars. Each of them had strength that surpassed those of the same cultivation level in the outside world. Their martial veins were terrifying, their talents were extraordinary, their techniques were heaven-defying, and their auras were ancient. They were indeed not easily comparable to those of the outside world. However, at this moment, the ones attacking were Du Xiaofu and Yunmu, as well as the honorable weapon, Zhenqing Chun, and the honorable golden rock. Other than Qin Qiong, no one else had the cultivation level to restrain Zhenqing Chun and the honorable golden rock. Although the dozens of people of that clan attacked with all their might, under the attacks of Du Xiaofu, Yunmu, the honorable golden rock, and Zhenqing Chun, the energy surged forward. The terrifying energy waves and talisman array energy directly sent dozens of people flying. Some of them ended up vomiting blood, and some of them directly died. Bastards, you don't know who you have provoked. You will regret it. Qin Qiong was truly angry and roared loudly. This time, he had come to bring Du Xiaofu back. Who would have thought that he would suffer such a crushing defeat? Many of his clan members were actually killed in the outside world. I don't care who you are. Do you really think that no one in this world can defeat you? The honorable golden rock roared. Golden light shone brightly like a golden-winged rock soaring through the sky. He was domineering and fierce, and his attacks swept through everything. Kill! Du Xiaofu waved his sword and slashed out again and again. A Nirvana martial honorable of that clan dodged, but under the continuous sword radiance, one of his arms was finally chopped off. He screamed in pain and his eyes were filled with fear. This was within the talisman array. Zhenqing Chun controlled the void. The terrifying attacks were all confined within the talisman array space and did not sweep through the stone city. Otherwise, Stone City would have been razed to the ground. Even so, the rumbling sounds of energy continued to ring out, causing Yi Wuming and the rest to tremble. The space was so chaotic that nothing could be seen. Everyone could only see incomparably resplendent runes leaking out. The space was boiling, as if it would explode at any moment. Pucci, within the control of the void array glyphs, people were constantly coughing up blood and being wounded. They were unable to stop Venerable Golden Rock and Zhenqingchuan's talisman array attacks. Du Xiaofu also specifically targeted those with weaker cultivations. Yunmu was also a complete killing machine. Soon after, miserable cries sounded again. Someone had their flesh hacked apart by Du Xiaofu, their primordial spirits escaping. There were also people who were torn apart by the clouds. The meridian souls they activated were suppressed by the Golden Rock Venerable and Du Xiaofu's Golden-Winged Great Rock technique. This was a terrifying battle that shook the heavens. Break the array. Qin Qiong shouted as he used all his strength to break free from the restraints of venerable weapon Xiahou Fenglei. His divine ability was superb. Mysterious runes surged as he spat out a mouthful of essence blood, which then transformed into a huge grey dragon. The grey dragon was surrounded by grey mist. The dragon had 5 claws, as if it was a real dragon. Roar! The grey dragon roared within the array. It was a shocking scene. The gray dragon rolled endlessly. Its body was incomparably huge as it continuously resisted the venerable weapon's attacks. It also crashed into the array, constantly emitting resplendent light. "Break!" Chen Qiong shouted, his face pale. It seemed that he had used all his strength. The gray dragon crashed into the array one last time, causing a dazzling rain of light to erupt in the sky. Rumble. Then, the entire stone city shook. The earth quaked and the mountains shook. In the distant Savage Beast mountain range, thousands of beasts roared and countless mountains collapsed. Finally, the array cracked and a long crack was torn open. Puchi. Zhen Qingchen coughed up blood and staggered back. The array in the sky was shattered. "Let's go!" Elder Chen Qiong shouted, calling for the remaining people of the clan to leave. Immediately, the figures ran away quickly, not daring to stay any longer. They had never taken the people of the outside world seriously, but this time, they were in an extremely sorry state. Qi La, the sky was torn open. Elder Chen Qiong led the people of the clan away. Protector Qing Yu, who was heavily injured, was lucky enough to survive. He left in fear. Du Xiaofu looked at the sky in front of him. He did not chase after them, as he could not catch up. That clan had dozens of people, but at this moment, nearly 20 corpses were left in a bloody mist, including a few venerable level cultivators. Damn it, they actually ran away. Du Xiaoyao turned into a golden macaque and jumped onto Du Xiaofu's shoulder. He licked his lips, as if he had not had enough. Those Dao artifacts and treasured artifacts were delicacies to him. They were absolute nourishment. Citizens of the desolate country, there is no need to panic. Those who offend the desolate country will not have a good ending. Kill without mercy. Du Xiaofu looked around. Countless shocked gazes were cast over, and the sound waves spread out, echoing in the distance. A moment later, in the side hall of the palace, only Du Xiaofu, Du Xiaoyao, Zhen Qingchen, Venerable Golden Rock, Du Xiaoqing, Medicine King Yi Wuming, and Weapon Sovereign Xiahou Fenglei were present. "Grandmaster, that clan, who are they?" Du Xiaofu asked the Venerable Golden Rock. From the Venerable Golden Rock's tone, it seemed that he knew some of the origins of that clan. "I didn't expect you to be related to them." The Venerable Golden Rock looked at Du Xiaofu and sighed. He said softly, "If it wasn't for Muhan, our ancient heaven sect wouldn't know much about those people. Rather than saying that they are a clan, it would be better to say that they are a family. They are not just a clan, but a sect. Rumor has it that there are 9 of them. What kind of existences are they?" Hearing this, Du Xiaofu was slightly confused. It turned out that there was more than one clan in that clan. There were actually 9 of them. If I'm not wrong, those 9 should be Buddha, Tao, Confucian, Nong, Mo, Yin, Ming, Fa, and Zongheng. Venerable Weapon said. He also knew some legends. At his cultivation level, he had heard many legends in this world. The Venerable Golden Rock nodded to the Weapon Sovereign and said, "It is indeed these 9 families. However, not many people in the ancient heaven sect know about them. They only know that after a great calamity, the remaining people of the 9 families were restricted by a mysterious expert. They were not allowed to appear on Kyushu for no reason, or they would be severely punished. The rumors are indeed not groundless." Zhen Qingchen smiled, slightly shocked. He had heard many legends before, and his sect had also mentioned them. However, at that time, he really didn't pay much attention to them. Buddha, Tao, Confucian, Nong, Mo, Yin, Ming, Fa, Zongheng, Du Xiaofu murmured in his heart, remembering them in his heart. He didn't know which family his mother's clan belonged to, but at least now he finally knew the origin of that clan. They are too strong. If they were at the same level of cultivation, they would not be able to resist them at all. They are strong enough to suppress everyone at the same level of cultivation. They all have unusual martial veins and spiritual roots. The weapon sovereign's eyes narrowed. The people of that clan were too powerful. He was facing Chen Qiong, who was at the martial domain realm. They were at the same level of cultivation, and he also had the help of the 3,000 spiritual thunder. Yet, he seemed to be at a disadvantage. Du Xiaofu did not have much time to pay attention to those powerful existences. His face was solemn and his eyes were filled with worry. Then, he asked his master, Zhenqing Chun, and Grandmaster, Golden Rock Sovereign, what kind of place is Tianhuang mainland? This world is vast and boundless. There are Kyushu in the world, and the middle state is only one of them. There are also countless dangerous places, secret places, and barren lands that no one has ever set foot in. There is a saying, the three continents Kyushu realm, which can roughly describe the vastness of this world. Golden Rock Sovereign looked at Du Xiaofu and said, Tianhuang mainland is one of the three continents. It is a barren land that no one has ever dared to enter. It is rumored that there are great opportunities hidden there, but it is the burial place of all living beings. Hearing this, Du Xiaofu did not hesitate and said to Golden Rock Sovereign and the others, I want to go to Tianhuang mainland. It is too dangerous there. It is a barren land full of dangers. Even if you reach there with your current cultivation, you might not be able to protect yourself. Countless martial domain realm experts have died in Tianhuang mainland. It is rumored that even martial domain realm and 9-star spiritual talisman masters have died in Tianhuang mainland, Golden Rock Sovereign said to Du Xiaofu seriously. No matter what, I have to go. My drunkard father is there. I have to go. Du Xiaofu sighed softly. He had already made his decision. Qing Yu had said that his drunkard father was on Tianhuang mainland and was being hunted down by many people. This made Du Xiaofu want to go to Tianhuang mainland as soon as possible. That place is no joke. It's filled with danger and people from all walks of life mixed together. Many independent cultivators are hiding there, and there are also many ferocious birds and beasts that are hibernating there. All of them want to search for the legendary and illusory fortune there. You have to be careful if you want to go there. I'll be in closed-door cultivation for a period of time, and I'll come look for you if I make any progress. Zhen Qingchun did not stop Du Xiaofu. He knew that no one could stop him now, and he would definitely go. If you really want to go to Tianhuang mainland, set off from the ancient heaven sect. That place is outside Kyushu. Martial venerables can travel through the air. It will take several months to get there. Chapter 1028. The Venerable Golden Rock looked at Du Xiaofu and said, there's a wormhole in the ancient heaven sect that leads directly to Tianhuang city. You can go to Tianhuang mainland from there. I'll tell you more about Tianhuang mainland and its surroundings on the way back. I'll make a trip back to the 7 Stars Hall first. If there's a need, I'll meet you in the Tianhuang mainland. Some time ago, the 7 Stars Hall received news that there seemed to be some changes in the Tianhuang mainland. Perhaps the 7 Stars Hall will really have to make a trip to the Tianhuang mainland when the time comes, Weapon Venerable Xiahou Fenglei said. Du Xiaofu nodded. Then, he arranged everything in the desolate country overnight. He left everything to the Medicine King Yi Wuming and Murong Yorua. The World Society and the Du family were left to his second brother Du Yunlong and eldest sister Du Xiaoman. He left behind the Phantom, the Beast Killer, the Evil Soul, and the Blood Vine Spirit to guard the desolate country. His eldest brother Zhen Qingchun was also in the desolate country, so he was relieved for the time being. Du Xiaofu guessed that if that clan wanted to take revenge, he was not in the Stone City. Perhaps that clan would not invade on a large scale. There's something I want to discuss with you. I have some family feuds that I want to settle, so I need to bring Brother Wei with me. Under the moonlight, Yi Piaoling asked Du Xiaofu. His eyes were sharp under his bangs, and there was an invisible wave of fierce killing intent spreading out. In the past few years, Yi Piaoling's name had spread throughout the Central Plains. Back then, when the 8 brothers stepped onto the lightning platform in the sealed ancient land, they had left a deep impression on everyone. I have to go to Tianhuang mainland as soon as possible. I can't go with you. Let the phantom, the beast killer, the evil soul, and the blood vine spirit accompany you. Du Xiaofu said. He roughly knew what Yi Piaoling needed to do. Back in the dark forest, there was an expert who attacked him. The crimson palm on Yi Piaoling's body seemed to be related to that matter. Yi Piaoling's eyes were filled with arrogance as he looked at the night sky. His eyes were sharp, and his fierce killing intent spread out. Back then, I said, if I don't, I'll you mountain, sect, I'll kill them all. You are a member of the Barren Nation and the World Society. You are the leader of the Heavenly General Guards. No matter what happens, the Barren Nation and the World Society will be behind you. Du Xiaofu Yi Piaoling said Piaoling. Du is, in the country, the Huang mainland DC country, the is, in the to the inside country before dawn, in the in country before dawn's Gi's he. In the back mountain of the Du family, Ouyang Shuang stomped her feet and cursed angrily. It's said that Tianhuang mainland isn't a good place. Little Green, Little Tiger, and Du Xiaoyao are all powerful. It's for your own good that he didn't let you go, Murong Yorua said to Ouyang Shuang with a smile. Strength. I need to increase my strength. I can't be further away from him. Ouyang Shuang murmured. Her big and beautiful eyes rippled. In the calm sky, a huge black tiger flapped its wings and streaked across the sky. Du Xiaofu sat cross-legged on the little tiger's back, listening to the Golden Rock's description of the world. The 3 continents of Kyushu were the ancient wilderness continent, Tianhuang mainland, and Qinhuang mainland. Kyushu was the Shang continent, Han continent, Ning continent, Lan continent, Middle continent, Wan continent, Yu continent, Cloud continent, and Thunder continent. As for the last continent, it referred to the first region and the first world. The first region was not the spirit region, but the beast region. It was said that it was a vast world of demonic beasts. It was much larger than any of the continents in Kyushu. The first world was the demonic world. It was said that it was the place where the demonic beasts of this world lived. Du Xiaofu knew that the world was so vast. The 3 continents of Kyushu were the first world. It was a vast and boundless world. Just the middle continent was already incomparably vast. The world is much bigger than I imagined. Du Xiaofu said softly. The world was much bigger than he imagined. Many people didn't know how big the world was. Many people were frogs in a well. One could only know as much as they had the strength to do so. The world is vast and experts are as common as clouds. Do you think that you are a true expert when you become a martial honor? Do you think that you are invincible after reaching the martial domain realm and the 9-star realm? The Golden Rock asked Du Xiaofu with a smile. There is no end to the number of experts. I'm afraid that there are still experts among the experts. Du Xiaofu pondered for a moment, then said to the Golden Rock Honorable. Of course. Hearing this, the Golden Rock Honorable raised his eyes slightly and sighed. You must be careful in the Tianhuang mainland this time. That is not a good place. Du Xiaofu nodded. He chatted with his Grand Master, the Golden Rock Honorable, for a long time. He had gained a lot of knowledge about the world and heard many strange things. In the Middle Continent, as the battle between the martial domain realm experts of the desolate country spread, it was vividly described and exaggerated. It caused the clouds to move and countless forces were moved. The martial domain realm experts were defeated in the desolate country and fled pathetically. Many martial honors died in the Stone City. When the news spread, the desolate country was established in the Middle Continent. The name of the Demon King, Du Xiaofu, also became more and more famous. When Du Xiaofu and his Grand Master, the Golden Rock Honorable, arrived at the ancient Heaven sect, they first paid a visit to their master, Gu Qingyang. Then, They were summoned by Sima taxing to the ancient heaven sect's main hall. Then you came at the right time. If you hadn't come back, I would have had to send someone to look for you. When Sima taxing saw Du Xiaofu, he immediately said seriously, Grand Master, the Golden Rock Honorable, has already told me about what happened in the desolate country. You asked the Manchu to help you find your father, Du Tingxian. There is finally news. Your father has indeed appeared in the Tianhuang mainland. How is my father now? Du Xiaofu asked nervously. This way, he was even more certain that his drunkard father was in the Tianhuang mainland. I don't know what to say about your father's situation, Sima taxing smiled wryly and continued to speak to Du Xiaofu. The Manchu has received news that a great opportunity has appeared in the Tianhuang mainland. There are signs of the Divine Thunder Manor appearing. Only the younger generation can obtain this great opportunity. Right now, the various major forces in Kyushu, the Beast Realm, the Demon Realm, and even the terrifying forces that have been restricted may send their younger generation disciples this time. That place is not restricted by them. Sima taxing had already learned about everything that had happened in the desolate country from the Golden Rock Honorable. The arrival of the reclusive clans in the Stone City was closely related to Du Xiaofu. Thus, he also mentioned that the terrifying forces that had been restricted may also interfere this time. Divine Thunder Manor. Du Xiaofu's eyes slightly twitched. He had never heard of it before. The Divine Thunder Manor is an ancient legend. It is said that during the Great Calamity back then, there were several terrifying figures that could even stand shoulder to shoulder with the strongest experts of the 9 clans. It was truly terrifying. One of them was called Jinlei Tensei. He was very famous and the Divine Thunder Manor was the manor he left behind. It is said that the Divine Thunder Manor contains Jinlei Tensei's lifetime legacy. Anyone who can obtain it will become a top expert in the world. Unfortunately, this has always been a legend. However, traces of the Divine Thunder Manor have finally appeared in the Tianhuang mainland. Sima taxing's glass-like eyes flickered as he said, the legacy left behind by Jinlei Tensei is enough to move the 9 clans. This time, regardless of whether the appearance of the Divine Thunder Manor on the Tianhuang mainland is real or not, it is destined to be a fierce battle. Someone who can stand shoulder to shoulder with the strongest experts of the 9 clans. No one in the world can remain unmoved by the legacy of such an expert. Du Xiaofu pondered. If he had known about such benefits earlier, he would have gone to try his luck. However, compared to this, his drunkard father was more important to Du Xiaofu. He asked, then how is my father now? According to the news from the Manchu, there is a person called Du Tingxian who is now one of the most famous people on the Tianhuang mainland. It is said that he obtained a great opportunity and killed many venerables from various major forces. It is said that he even killed a dragon, a true dragon. Sima taxing gasped secretly when he heard this. He looked at Du Xiaofu and wondered what kind of father and son were they. The son was ferocious and terrifying, but the father was not willing to fall behind and killed a true dragon. Chapter 1029. A true dragon was an existence that even the people of the 9 great families would not dare to touch. My drunkard father killed a true dragon. Du Xiaofu was also taken aback when he heard this. It is said that the dragons are furious and are searching the entire Tianhuang mainland to find your father. Many other forces are not inferior to the ancient sky sect and are also hunting your father down. However, there is no news of your father's death so far. Even if your father is temporarily safe, he is definitely not feeling well. Sima taxing frowned. He could imagine being hunted down by countless experts on the Tianhuang mainland, including the dragons. He could imagine how dangerous it was. I want to go to the Tianhuang mainland immediately. Du Xiaofu said in a deep voice, his eyes shining. His drunkard father was in danger and killing intent was everywhere. This made Du Xiaofu unable to stay for a moment. Yesterday, the experts of the Manchu protected a lot of Ruoxuihan. Yin Machin and the others have already gone to the Tianhuang city. I have already made arrangements. When the time comes, the Manchu will open a wormhole for you alone, Sima Taxing said. Du Xiaofu nodded. He also had a certain understanding of wormholes. At least Du Xiaofu was now a proper 8-star spirit talisman master. He knew that wormholes could only be built by an 8-star spirit talisman master and above, or even by a 9-star spirit talisman master. Every time the wormhole was activated and maintained, it would consume an enormous amount of resources. Since he was going to the Tianhuang mainland, his senior brother Sima Taxing and Master Gu Qingyang naturally had to give him some instructions. The two of them also knew about Du Xiaofu's cultivation and strength, so they were not too worried. The next morning, in the depths of the ancient sky sect. In a mountain range, a wormhole was activated in a valley. The glyph matrix was dazzling as runes flickered. In the end, a spatial passage appeared. Sima Taxing said to Du Xiaofu, Du Xiaoqing, Du Xiaoyao, and Little Tiger, generally, there is no danger in the wormhole, but it is inevitable to encounter special circumstances. I wish you good luck. Drunkard Dad, you have to hold on, I'm coming to help you. Du Xiaofu said softly. Then, he stepped into the space and left with Du Xiaoqing, Du Xiaoyao, and the Little Tiger. They disappeared into the space tunnel. Kyushu is stirred up. This time, I'm afraid it will be a fierce battle. The world will be in chaos. Is this a sign? Sima Taxing looked at the entrance of the wormhole that disappeared. Lu Li's eyes were deep and dignified. In the empty and misty space, runes flickered everywhere like stars. It was as if they were shuttling through time and space, which surprised Du Xiaofu. In the wormhole, as the runes flickered, Du Xiaofu seemed to have comprehended something. Tianhuang Mainland, Divine Thunder Mansion. This time, I must get it. In front of the courtyard of the Great Will sect, a tall and slender young man in a red robe with golden hair stood quietly. His eyes were dazzling and no one dared to look directly at him. He was the reincarnated saint of the Great Will sect, Dongli Qihuang. Back then, he lost on the lightning platform and finally took second place. He had been quiet for the past few years and did not make any big moves. You must be careful this time. Kyushu will participate. Those people might appear as well. An old man who looked somewhat similar to Dongli Qihuang looked at Dongli Qihuang and said, the ancient heaven sect will naturally receive the news. Du Xiaofu might go as well. He has broken through to Martial Saint and is a strong opponent for you. In addition, there are rumors that there are many human sovereigns among the younger generation above Kyushu. They are also strong opponents for you. Kyushu will participate. This is a truly grand event. I look forward to it. The eyes of the easternly scarlet phoenix flashed, her entire body glowing with a brilliant light. Her voice was indifferent, causing the hearts of those who heard it to tremble. That Du Xiaofu, I was careless back then and broke through to the Zun realm. This isn't strange, he's truly extraordinary. Dongli Qihuang paused and a faint coldness flashed in his eyes. He said, he is only Martial Saint. I broke through before him and refined the dragon qi of the Stone Dragon Empire for my own use. If I see him in Tianhuang mainland, I will tell the entire Kyushu that he is no longer my opponent. The old man said, you still have to be careful of that kid. He is not simple. Is there any news about Xingnan? Dongli Qihuang was silent for a while and then asked the old man. She should be in the Divine Light Court. Now that the Divine Light Court has an unusual relationship with the devil religion, they have become the target of public criticism. You better stay away from the Divine Light Court. Our great cause cannot be ruined. The old man reminded Dongli Qihuang. Although you are my father in this life, I am also the reincarnated saint. My primordial spirit has begun to awaken and I have obtained the great power of my previous life. You don't have to say much about what I do. Dongli Qihuang looked at the old man and said. There was an aura in his eyes that made people's hearts tremble. Understood. The old man nodded, and there was a faint trace of respect and awe in his eyes. Under the blue sky, between the silver ridge and the green grass, there were continuous ancient pagodas and a few magnificent halls clustered around the moon like stars. There were countless ancient statues around, and their expressions were vivid. The winding path led to a secluded place, and there were meditation rooms and flowers. The mountain path turned, and a vermilion ancient hall was hidden among the lush ancient trees. A few white lotus flowers were slightly blooming and exuded a fragrance. In the hall, there was an ancient Buddha with lowered eyelids and benevolent eyes. The hall was filled with smoke, and there was a solemn atmosphere. A bald young man sat cross-legged under the ancient Buddha. He had a high nose bridge and fair skin. His face was as delicate as jade, and there were 9 ring scars on his head. They were like 9 mysterious runes that shone brightly. Chongling, there is a movement in Tianhuang mainland. It is a serious matter. Be careful. A faint voice faintly reverberated in the hall. Yes. The young man nodded and opened his eyes. His eyes were filled with divine light, and they were like the stars in the sky. It was impossible to look away. There was a faint luster flowing on his sparkling skin, and his aura could calm one's soul and heart. However, he also gave off an aura of supremacy. Between heaven and earth, there were many forces surging, and countless experts of the younger generation began to head towards Tianhuang mainland. There was no sense of time in the wormhole. There seemed to be no concept of time in this space. Chi La, finally, space rippled, and a hazy and faintly discernible misty rune rose from the end of the wormhole, emitting countless rays of light. Subsequently, Du Xiaofu, Du Xiaoqing, Xiaohu, and Du Xiaoyao appeared in a valley. There might be a divine thunder manor in Tianhuang mainland. It will reappear soon. You must be careful. Be careful. Try not to split up. Be careful. Just as Du Xiaofu, Du Xiaoyao, Du Xiaoqing, and Little Tiger appeared, they heard many loud shouts. The 4 of them scanned their surroundings. This valley was originally very flat, but there were many wormholes now. In the surrounding void, a few blurry figures appeared and descended. There were hundreds of people at most and hundreds of people at least. They all had a terrifying aura. Du Xiaofu was stunned. There were wormholes everywhere. Many young men and women were powerful. He could sense the aura of many supremacy experts without much probing. Listen up, there are great opportunities in Tianhuang mainland that are hard to come by. This is also an opportunity for the younger generation. You might be able to obtain great opportunities inside. It's normal for you to die without a burial ground. Everything will depend on yourselves. Everyone, follow us. We will go into Tianhuang City to find out some information. There were many shouts in the surroundings. They were all elders protecting the younger generation disciples. Du Xiaofu looked around and saw many supremacy experts. Some even had the aura of a chaotic element martial venerable. There were also many experts of the beast race among them. These should be people from the major forces and families above Kyushu. Du Xiaofu looked around the valley. There were figures everywhere with extraordinary auras. So many of them have treasures and extraordinary elixirs. Du Xiaoyao said. It was born to be able to sense treasures and elixirs. At this moment, it was almost drooling. I wonder how Little Star is doing. Seeing Du Xiaoyao's appearance, Du Xiaofu could not help but think of Little Star and the 3-year agreement with the purple-flamed demonic phoenix. It seemed that it was almost time. Boom! Suddenly, there was an explosion in the valley. Terrifying energy was like a dazzling wave that surged and roared. It was extremely spectacular. Rumble, the terrifying aura dispersed. Resplendent light filled the area as symbols shattered. The collision caused the earth to tremble and the mountains to shake. The entire world was rumbling. The ground kept cracking. The scene was shocking. terrifying aura was erupting. The space rumbled. It was extremely terrifying. Something happened to the wormhole of that force. It exploded. Get out of the way. Don't be affected. When the wormhole explodes, even a martial venerable can be destroyed in an instant. Retreat, retreat quickly. Suddenly, loud shouts spread around the valley. It was extremely chaotic. Countless figures retreated in all directions, not daring to be affected. Oh my God, it's terrifying. Fortunately, the quality of the wormhole of the ancient heaven sect is reliable. Little demon Du cried out loudly as he retreated with Du Xiaofu. When this kind of wormhole exploded, the terrifying power was simply too shocking. At this moment, everyone was escaping quickly. However, there were many unlucky people who were affected. At least dozens of people who were close to the explosion were blown into a bloody mist. Hundreds of people were injured. It had to be said that these unlucky people were really unlucky. It was definitely an unexpected disaster. Bang! Within the space that had exploded, a seemingly graceful and blurry figure was blasted out. She landed heavily on the ground and spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. Today's update is complete. Chapter 1030. It was a woman, her delicate body lying on the ground. Her fairy-like face was stained with blood. However, it was not difficult to see that the injured woman's eyebrows were like jade feathers, her skin as white as snow, and she was extremely beautiful. Her fine black hair was originally tied into a simple bailuo bun at the back of her head, but now it was a little messy and her hair was disheveled. It's her. Du Xiaoyao stood on Du Xiaofu's shoulder. When he saw the woman's face with blood, he immediately exclaimed to Du Xiaofu in shock. Du Xiaoyao still remembered that woman. Back then, that woman had threatened to refine him into a Dao artifact. It's her. At the same time, Du Xiaofu's gaze suddenly trembled. The woman lay on the ground, fresh blood flowing from her mouth. Then, her body wriggled and a sound came from her throat. Then, her bloody body began to struggle to stand up. She looked around vigilantly. She's fine after the spatial wormhole exploded. This woman is not simple. She might have a treasure on her to protect herself. She must have a treasure to protect herself. Looking at the woman struggling to get up, many voices of greed came from the surroundings. Many eyes were burning with desire. In a place like this, killing and robbing was not a rare thing. Swoosh swoosh, in a short instant, the woman, who was riddled with scars, was surrounded by dozens of figures. There were old and young people among these people. They all had evil intentions. They wanted to kill her and rob her of her treasures. However, after carefully sizing up the woman, many people were stunned and their hearts trembled. They had never seen such a beautiful woman. Her aura was not something that ordinary people could compare to. The woman stood up and looked around. Her clear eyes were filled with a cold ripple. Girl, hand over the treasure on you and I'll protect you. How about it? An old man with an extremely powerful aura spoke. His gray-white hair was combed into a bun. He was thin and his eyes were malicious. Old Taoist, this girl is still young. She's not suitable for you. She's mine. A handsome middle-aged man in his 30s walked out. He was dressed in luxurious clothes and held a fan in his hand. Then, he looked at the girl and said, Girl, come with me. I'll protect you. Old Ghost Cain, you're already so old. Why do you have to harm a virgin? Just leave this girl to me. A burly man walked out. His sturdy and rough body was like a small giant. He carried a large machete on his shoulder, and there were many mysterious runes on his bulging biceps. His entire person gave off a feeling of explosive power. It's the old Taoist. He's a terrifying rogue cultivator in the Ning province. Rumor has it that he's extremely ferocious and cruel. He once slaughtered millions of people by himself and shocked the Ning province. There's also old devil Kai Yin. He's an expert who cultivates evil martial arts. He cultivates both martial arts and talisman. He's an expert from the Hehuan school, which is comparable to the top forces in Shangzhou. The disciples behind him should be the outstanding younger generation of the Hehuan school. There's also the giant saber barbarian. He's from the heavenly saber sect of Hanzhou. Rumor has it that he once killed an ancient demon beast with his saber. He can move mountains and overturn seas, and he has the strength to split mountains and rivers. They're all extraordinary experts at the venerable realm. Looking at the three experts at the front, many onlookers gathered around to watch the show. Sounds of discussion could be heard. They seemed to be extremely wary of those three people, and the others didn't dare to get too close. In the distance, many forces of various sizes were entrenched. There were also some elders and burly men who hid their auras. They were all watching the show with interest. Get lost, or die. The fairy-like woman's clear voice rang out. Her silver teeth revealed a chill. Looking at the dozens of figures surrounding her, her clear eyes revealed a fierce look. Oh, you're so chaste. I like this kind of woman. Only then will I have the desire to conquer. The handsome middle-aged man laughed sinisterly. His eyes revealed a filthy look. Her graceful figure and stunning appearance, especially her incomparable temperament, caused ripples in his heart and soul. He had never obtained such a woman in hundreds of years. The fairy-like woman's eyes were fierce. However, she faintly revealed a solemn look. If she was at her peak, she wouldn't even put these three people in her eyes. She could kill them in a matter of minutes. However, she was the clearest about her current situation. An accident had occurred in the originally unstable wormhole. She was seriously injured. Even if she had the innate ability to recover, it would be difficult for her to recover in a short period of time. The woman pondered. If she were to take action now, she might be able to kill these three people. However, she was afraid that she would be in a desperate situation. Moreover, there were many experts who were hiding in the surroundings. Hence, she couldn't help but be cautious. Little girl, come with me. The old man with long gray hair and a sinister look looked at the fairy-like woman. The aura on his body surged. He didn't want to waste any more time. Many people in the surroundings seemed to be interested. They were secretly eyeing them. There were many auras that he had to be wary of. Chi. The space fluctuated and a purple-robed figure appeared in front of the fairy-like woman. There was a little golden monkey on his shoulder and there was a faint smile in his clear eyes. He held a healing pill in his hand and handed it to the woman. Then, a charming young lady and a black-robed youth landed behind the figure in purple. Their bodies rippled with extraordinary auras. When the fairy-like woman heard the familiar voice of the purple-robed figure that suddenly appeared, she immediately raised her eyes. A resolute and determined face appeared in front of the woman's eyes. The childishness from before was gone. There was more fierceness and domineering. However, it was still so familiar. It was the person that she always worried about. How did you? The fairy-like woman spoke in surprise. Her eyes were filled with ripples. They were still so moving that they could make people lose their souls. The woman didn't expect to meet him again here. Before she could finish her words, Du Xiaofu interrupted her. He grinned and said, "Don't speak. Take the elixir and recover. Leave the rest to me." The three of them are mysterious martial honorables. There are many strong cultivators around. The woman took the healing elixir from Du Xiaofu's hand. However, she had to remind Du Xiaofu that there were many martial honorables around. They're just mysterious martial honorables. Du Xiaofu smiled at the woman. She was Dongli Qingqing, who had left without saying goodbye in the dark forest. How could he ignore Dongli Qingqing's matters? Then, his expression became slightly domineering. He shouted at the old Yin Taoist, the old Kai Yin Taoist, the giant blade barbarian and the others, "Get lost. Otherwise, I'll kill you. Where did this brat come from? You're boasting shamelessly. You're asking for death. Hearing this, the giant blade barbarian shouted. He looked like a giant looking down at the young man from a distance of a few hundred feet. Du Xiaofu, do it. They have many treasures on them. Don't let them escape. Before Du Xiaofu could say anything, Du Xiaoyao, who was standing on Du Xiaofu's shoulder, shouted as if she wanted to see the world in chaos. She wanted Du Xiaofu to attack immediately. How dare you, evil creature! Hearing Du Xiaoyao's words, the old Kai Yin Taoist's face instantly darkened. He was about to attack. Bastard, how dare you scold me? I'll teach you a lesson later. Du Xiaoyao glared with her golden eyes and cursed. Even if she couldn't defeat them, no one could do anything to her. However, Du Xiaoqing pouted. She and the little tiger didn't say anything. They hadn't broken through to the honorable realm yet. They knew that it was better to step back when facing these honorable realm experts. Du Xiaoqing wasn't worried that her brother would be at a disadvantage. Humph. The old Yin Taoist snorted coldly. He waved his hand and the mysterious runes on his palm surged. They turned into a ferocious scorpion shadow and rushed toward Du Xiaofu. He wanted to kill the young man first as an example to others. Be careful. Dongli Qingqing's beautiful face changed. There was a strange aura surging around her body. She didn't know what level his cultivation had reached. She couldn't see through it. However, the one who attacked was mysterious honorable martial artist. She couldn't help but worry that he couldn't deal with it. Old man, how dare you attack me? You're courting death. Du Xiaofu's originally calm face was instantly covered with a gloomy and furious expression, revealing a domineering and fierce aura. With a loud shout, he didn't retreat but advanced instead. With a sweep of his sleeve, golden light erupted and directly shattered the savage scorpion phantom. Die! Then Du Xiaofu stomped the ground. His figure was like a ferocious beast in human form. He fiercely rushed toward the old Yin Taoist who attacked. Bang! A low muffled sound was heard. The old Yin Taoist howled and his body turned into a bloody mist. His divine soul was destroyed. Even his primordial spirit couldn't escape. The old Yin Taoist couldn't imagine the speed and power. He didn't even know how he died in the end. I asked you to get lost. You didn't. Go to hell. Du Xiaofu shouted. Golden light shot out from his eyes. He didn't stop and rushed toward the old Yin Taoist like a peerless ferocious beast. Oh no. The old Yin Taoist's face changed. He didn't know that the young man in the purple robe was so strong. A dazzling light spread out from his eyes. It moved people's hearts and souls. A terrifying primordial spirit power swept out. The old Yin Taoist was a martial arts talisman master. He was also an 8-star talisman master. He was good at illusionary primordial spirits. He was famous. Although he practiced evil skills, he was backed by the Hehuan school. Therefore, people of the righteous path didn't dare to provoke him. Overconfident primordial spirit attack. In the terrifying primordial spirit attack, Du Xiaofu directly appeared in front of the old Yin Taoist. He was not afraid of the primordial spirit attack at all. A fist print landed on the old Yin Taoist's chest. Chapter 1031. Crack. As the fist landed, the old Taoist Kai Yin's defense was destroyed like tofu. Then, he let out a miserable howl. The old Taoist Kai Yin's chest was penetrated by Du Xiaofu's fist. Blood spurted out, and his flesh was shattered. In the end, his body was destroyed by the golden runes, and his soul was destroyed. Swish! The giant blade barbarian appeared, and the huge blade on his back was unsheathed. His giant body was like a giant beast wrapped in runes, and he rushed over, exuding a terrifying fluctuation. He slashed his blade directly at Du Xiaofu. The blade technique is overbearing, but it's not profound enough. Du Xiaofu's figure was like a god. That was Dongli Qingqing's wave-like, carefree steps. His figure disappeared under the blade light, and the blade slashed a long gully in the ground. Bang, bang, bang. The rocks on the ground shattered, and the earth shook. A terrifying aura rushed into the sky. Whoosh! Du Xiaofu's figure appeared in front of the giant blade barbarian in the next moment. He waved his purple robe, and the dazzling runes burst out with dazzling golden light. The runes rushed out like a rock flapping its wings, and landed in front of the giant blade barbarian, sending his giant body flying. Bang, bang. The giant blade barbarian's figure fell to the ground, and the earth shook. Blood dripped, and the surrounding ground cracked. The huge blade in the giant blade barbarian's hand fell in the distance, and it was immediately chewed up and swallowed by a little golden ape, as if it was eating a delicacy. Swish! Du Xiaofu's figure appeared, and he swooped down from the sky. Wrapped in golden light, the giant blade barbarian felt as if he had seen a golden-winged rock swooping down. The terrifying aura made the giant blade barbarian tremble, and even his soul trembled. At this moment, the giant blade barbarian realized that the young purple-robed man in front of him was a terrifying existence. He must be a top figure among the younger generation of some great force. At least, he had the talent of a human supreme, and was not inferior to Xue Qianzhan in the clan. I'll leave, let me go. He knew that he could not fight against the purple-robed young man. He was no match for the purple-robed young man, and he did not even have the power to resist. He should not have tried to get his hands on the woman in green's treasures when he was alone, but it was too late for him to regret it now. You dare to provoke me? Die! Du Xiaofu's figure swooped down in an instant. He was unwilling to stop and directly smashed his fist on the giant blade barbarian's huge head. Bang! Under Du Xiaofu's punch, the giant blade barbarian's head exploded, and a bloody mist shot out. The violet-robed young man showed no mercy, and he killed fiercely, ferociously, and ruthlessly. The three mysterious martial saints were easily dealt with by the purple-robed young man. Countless people in the surroundings gasped. The dozens of people who had originally planned to attack Dongli Qingqing, who had gathered a little closer, fled one after another in shock. What a savage young man! Many experts in the surroundings exclaimed in shock, and many concealed auras fluctuated. The purple-robed young man was valiant. He looked gentle and refined, but once he attacked, he killed fiercely, and he was like a fiend. Du Xiaofu stood there, surveying his surroundings. This place of chaos was just like the dark forest back then. He felt like a tiger returning to the mountains, or a dragon returning to the sea. It was a carefree feeling, and he didn't have any misgivings. That guy is not easy to deal with. Feeling the aura on Du Xiaofu's body, many powerful experts in the surroundings retreated in shock. Many of them secretly retreated, not wanting to provoke the purple-robed young man. Dongli Qingqing was also in a daze. Du Xiaofu's strength surprised her as well. Then, a smile appeared on her beautiful face. That smile was breathtaking, and it was devastatingly beautiful. Whoever dares to come forward, kill them. Du Xiaofu shouted. His purple robe fluttered in the wind, and his voice rumbled. He looked around in a domineering and disdainful manner. Some people trembled, and no one dared to step forward. Many experts were also secretly on guard, unwilling to take the risk. There must be a terrifying force behind such a young man. They did not want to get into trouble as soon as they arrived in the heavenly barren city. It was not worth it. I don't care who you are. I, Xue Qianzhan, will not let you go for hurting the people of the Heaven Knife sect. At this moment, a loud shout was heard, and the sound waves shook the clouds. That sound wave alone had made many disciples with lower cultivation go weak in the knees. Swoosh, swoosh, at the same time, many figures flew over from afar. Then, a large number of figures appeared in the sky. There were no less than 100 of them, and all of them had extremely terrifying auras. In particular, the first one was an old man in a wide robe. The aura on his body froze the sky, and Dongli Qingqing's expression immediately changed. She became solemn. A tall young man in a battle suit appeared. He looked extraordinary, and he floated in the sky on terrifying talisman runes. A pair of white wings condensed behind the young man's back, like the feathers of an eagle. He immediately landed in front of the giant blade barbarian, whose head had been smashed, with a cold look in his eyes. Xue Qianzhan, he's the top of the younger generation of the Heaven Knife sect in Hanzhou. He's a supreme talent, and he's the leader of the top 10 sky prides in the sealed ancient land of Hanzhou. He's very terrifying after being tempered by the divine thunder. Xue Qianzhan is a supreme talent. After being tempered by the divine thunder, his talent is very close to the peak of the supreme talent. Rumor has it that Xue Qianzhan has already broken through the supreme talent. He's the most terrifying young man in Hanzhou. That purple-robed young man killed the giant blade barbarian. I'm afraid the Heaven Knife sect won't let him go. The Fire Blade Venerable is also here. He's a top expert in Hanzhou, and he has a high status in the Heaven Knife sect. I'm afraid that purple-robed young man is going to die. There was a lot of discussion. Many people had heard about the Heaven Knife sect and Xue Qianzhan. The Heaven Knife sect was one of the top forces in Hanzhou, and Xue Qianzhan was the top of the younger generation in Hanzhou. He was the leader of the top 10 sky prides in the sealed ancient land, which explained everything. Xue Qianzhan looked at the giant blade barbarian whose head had been smashed. Then, he scanned the crowd and shouted, "Who killed my martial uncle? Come out!" The hundreds of experts of the Heaven Knife sect, both old and young, all landed beside the giant blade barbarian's corpse. Everyone from the Heaven Knife sect had a cold look in their eyes. The Heaven Knife sect was one of the overlords of Hanzhou. Even in Tianhuang City, no one could provoke them. I killed him. Du Xiaofu raised his head. He had heard about Xue Qianzhan's background from the discussions around him. It seemed that Hanzhou also had tempered by the divine thunder. Du Xiaofu secretly guessed that the purple thunder profound cauldron was also in the sealed ancient land. However, Venerable Golden Rock and senior brother Sima Taxing did not mention it. Boy, you're courting death. Hearing this, Xue Qianzhan immediately fixed his cold eyes on Du Xiaofu. He was secretly shocked. He was 2 or 3 years younger than him. Did he really have the strength to kill Martial Uncle Giant Blade Barbarian? Martial Uncle Giant Blade Barbarian was a mysterious martial venerable, and his cultivation was the same as his. 3 guys just said the same thing to me. Now, they're all dead. Du Xiaofu confronted him with a golden light in his eyes. He was strong and domineering. He did not give in at all. He even wanted to fight. As for the hundreds of experts around the Heaven Knife sect, some of them were venerable realm experts. Du Xiaofu was afraid of them, especially the leader, who seemed to be called Venerable Fire Saber. His cultivation was not much lower than Feng Qingyang's. He should be a chaotic element martial venerable. This boy must die. Du Xiaofu's fear came true. The leading elder of the Heaven Knife sect stepped out with killing intent in his eyes. He was going to attack personally. Venerable Fire Saber, leave him to me. He's suitable to be my stepping stone for a breakthrough. Xue Qianzhan said to Venerable Fire Saber as the coldness in his eyes intensified. He had come to Tianhuang mainland this time to seek opportunities and breakthroughs. Seeking opportunities was something that could only be chanced upon. If he wanted to break through, he could find many experts to be his stepping stones. Xue Qianzhan had come to Tianhuang mainland with the intention of challenging the heroes. This time, Kyushu had gathered and stirred up a storm. He, Xue Qianzhan, wanted to fight and make a name for himself in Kyushu. Being able to kill my martial uncle proves that you're not ordinary. You're qualified to be my stepping stone. Shui Qianzhan looked at Du Xiaofu and waved his hand. Light surged out and a white saber swept out. It shook the void and was extremely sharp. It pointed straight at the sky and emitted a dazzling white light. Dharma artifact. This is a treasure at the level of a Dharma artifact. It's not an ordinary Dharma artifact. It must be delicious. Du Xiaoyao was excited. Behind Du Xiaofu, she looked at Shui Qianzhan's white saber with greed in her eyes. She was about to drool. Saber King Shui Qianzhan of the Heaven Saber Sect. Tell me your name. I don't kill nameless people. Shui Qianzhan pointed his saber at Du Xiaofu. His eyes were dazzling. His battle robe fluttered and runes surged around him. Profound qi surged out. At this moment, Shui Qianzhan looked as if he was standing on a huge wave. He was extraordinary and incomparably sharp. He could cause ripples in the hearts of women. I'm just a saber king. I'm known as the Demon King. Demon King Du Xiaofu from Middle Grounds World Society. Du Xiaofu wasn't afraid. Facing this person who seemed to be the strongest among the younger generation in Hanzhou, his battle intent surged. He knew that he had no other way out. He could only fight with all he had. Demon King Du Xiaofu. I remember now. He's the Lord of Terror. He fought 1 against 10 in the sealed ancient land. He's a supreme genius. So he's the Demon King Du Xiaofu. No wonder he's so domineering. Suddenly, some people remembered Du Xiaofu. He was the Demon King who had long been famous in Middle Ground. His reputation had even spread outside of Middle Ground. This is a battle between the peak of the younger generation in the 2 prefectures. It's worth looking forward to. Suddenly, countless expectant gazes shot over. Many obscure auras also shot over. Chapter 1032. Demon King, what right do you have? Shui Qianzhan roared as his aura surged, causing the surrounding void to rumble. He slashed down with his saber and a terrifying rune burst forth. Qi La. The saber radiance swept out with a fierce aura and slashed toward Du Xiaofu. The world rumbled under the saber and its power was shocking. The space was also shattered. Such a saber attack shocked countless people. Little Shui Qianzhan, the Saber King, was indeed the top person of the younger generation in Hanzhou. This saber attack was enough to make the mysterious martial lord tremble in fear and even his primordial spirit tremble. Humph. Du Xiaofu did not dodge. He waved his hand and golden light burst forth. A thunderous fingerprint swept out and collided with the saber radiance with the lightning finger of the divine light court. The terrifying saber radiance was blocked and dissipated. At this time, the Fireblade Venerable also fixed his gaze on the battlefield and there was some surprise in the depths of his eyes. You have some ability, but it's not enough. Shui Qianzhan attacked again. The white wings on his back flapped and his speed skyrocketed. He swooped down and slashed out several times in a row with shocking power. He was like an invincible saber god. The saber radiance swept all around Du Xiaofu. Competing with wings? I have them too. Du Xiaofu roared as his hair fluttered in the wind. The true rock wings on his back flapped, and golden light shot out in all directions. A vast and domineering aura swept out, causing the surrounding space to tremble violently. Qi. Du Xiaofu swept his wings and the rock soared into the sky. Golden light erupted like the sun and a sharp screech resounded. In the next moment, there were golden talisman runes erupting in the golden light. It was as if the shadow of a golden-winged rock flapped its wings and soared into the sky. The power of the golden wings was rolling and directly destroyed the saber radiance. Its power suppressed Shui Qianzhan. Du Xiaofu knew that he had the advantage, so he forcibly destroyed the suppression. Is this the profound meaning of the golden-winged rock? Shui Qianzhan was astonished. That overbearing and sharp aura was like the Upanishad of the golden-winged great rock. After being stunned for a moment, Xue Qianzhan's expression changed. A white armor covered his body as a peerlessly swift and fierce aura swept out. The mysterious aura of a martial honorable erupted without restraint. That might was sufficient to make even a nirvana martial honorable tremble. My stepping stone, you're even stronger than I imagined. You're even more beneficial to me. Kill! Xue Qianzhan bellowed with an arrogant expression. His eyes were cold as he stared at Du Xiaofu and slashed out with his saber once again. Swish, 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 the saber light was accompanied by the blazing runes, and it instantly traversed the sky. Such a terrifying blade light seemed to be able to slash the heavens. Golden light gushed out from Du Xiaofu's eyes. He flapped his wings and used the rock's golden wings to block the attack. Golden runes filled the sky and blocked the saber light in the void. Boom! Huge spatial waves gushed out from the surrounding space, causing everyone to gasp in shock. Roar! Xue Qianzhan's saber light did not dissipate. He formed a seal with one hand and activated his pulse spirit. A white demonic leopard covered in snow-like white scales burst out in light as it roared and pounced at Du Xiaofu. A terrifying aura filled the void as the ice-scale leopard's roar shook the heavens, causing the pulse spirit in many people's bodies to tremble. The ice-scale leopard was one of the top demonic beasts on the heavenly beast list. It was the absolute ruler of the leopard race. Xue Qianzhan's pulse spirit was different as it was absolutely like a living creature. A martial king realm cultivator's pulse spirit would be nourished by their pulse spirit. When the pulse spirit was successfully cultivated, it would allow the pulse spirit to communicate with the physical body and fuse into one. It would then become an emperor and suppress everything. When one reached the martial honorable realm, the pulse spirit would go from communicating with the spirit to transforming into the spirit. There were a few levels to transforming the pulse spirit. The first was to create the pulse spirit's body, allowing the pulse spirit to awaken its intelligence. This was equivalent to nurturing a new pulse spirit. It would be personally nurtured and fused with one's body. The second level was transforming the pulse spirit, allowing the pulse spirit to truly become a living creature. The third level was transforming into the true spirit, which was also the final stage. It would allow the pulse spirit and the pulse spirit to completely fuse and leave the pulse spirit's body. At this stage, the pulse spirit would be equivalent to one's avatar and be able to kill enemies from 10,000 miles away. However, the final stage of transforming into the true spirit could only be achieved when one reached the martial domain realm, which was the hardest realm to reach. No one had ever heard of someone being able to transform into the true spirit at the martial honorable realm. Xue Qianzhan's pulse spirit has already transformed from creating the pulse spirit's body to transforming into the spirit. Many elders were shocked and they saw Xue Qianzhan's pulse spirit. Xue Qianzhan's strength was not exaggerated. From his pulse spirit, one could see that Xue Qianzhan had unparalleled talent on the path of cultivation. All honorable realm cultivators knew that every step in the pulse spirit was extremely difficult to comprehend. The further one went, the harder it would be and one's speed would gradually slow down until it was impossible to take another step forward. Then, one's cultivation would stagnate. At such a young age, Xue Qianzhan already had such a comprehension of the pulse spirit. It was shocking. If news of this spread, it would definitely scare people to death. Roar! Everything was as fast as lightning. The Pulse Soul Ice Scale Panther was in front of Du Xiaofu in an instant. Its terrifying power was about to tear the void apart. Du Xiaofu's eyes were cold and intimidating. He waved his left hand and his 5 fingers slightly bent. Suddenly, mysterious runes flashed on his fingertips. A claw print seemed to want to tear the space apart. Energy ripples visible to the naked eye spread out from the claw print. Qi La! Golden light burst out from the claw print and the dazzling talisman runes wreaked havoc like golden lightning. It was as if a golden-winged rock was about to spread its wings and soar into the sky. At this moment, the densely packed figures all felt their pulse spirits tremble. It was as if their pulse spirits were facing a sovereign. Chi La. The terrifying aura of the claw prince spread and fear faintly flashed across the eyes of the ice scale spirit. However, it was all too late. Countless golden lightning snakes shot out from the golden claw imprint and ruthlessly landed on the illusory figure of the ice scale heavenrend leopard in an overbearing manner. Crash! After a short stalemate, the ice scale heavenrend leopard's illusory figure was torn to shreds in an unstoppable manner. Crash! The white runes that filled the sky shattered and a terrifying energy storm spread out in an arc. Pucci. Blood flowed out from Xue Qianzhan's mouth as his gaze turned grave. At this moment, Xue Qianzhan found it hard to understand why his pulse spirit was so weak. The other party's claw was like a real golden-winged rock descending. Immeasurable pulse spirit. In the next instant, Xue Qianzhan roared and attacked with all his might. His long hair fluttered and runes erupted from his armor as he activated his pulse spirit. He wanted to kill his opponent and break through. Boom! Xue Qianzhan's pulse soul was activated. Layers of surface space ripples surged like dazzling waves and engulfed Du Xiaofu. Chi. At this moment, under the activation of his pulse spirit, Xue Qianzhan's blade caused sparks and broken runes to fly out from Du Xiaofu's golden-winged rock and started to suppress Du Xiaofu. In midair, Xue Qianzhan's saber landed squarely on Du Xiaofu's golden penguin, which was used to protect his body, and sent Du Xiaofu flying backward. This pulse spirit was terrifying. It could seal space and make people tremble. What a terrifying pulse spirit! It must be at the pinnacle of the human sovereign level. It's too terrifying. At this moment, anyone at the same cultivation level would be crushed. Xue Qianzhan is so powerful. His strength is terrifying. Everyone was shocked. A pulse spirit was the guarantee of a cultivator's future. At this moment, Xue Qianzhan's terrifying pulse spirit was terrifying. It's indeed a terrifying pulse spirit. Du Xiaofu raised his head slightly as he retreated. His eyes were filled with shock. This person was definitely stronger than Jiu Ling. At the same time, while Du Xiaofu was retreating, he quickly condensed a handprint in his left hand, and a vigorous and surging aura suddenly appeared like a peerless ferocious beast that wanted to soar into the sky. Du Xiaofu quickly gathered strength in his left fist and punched out towards Xue Qianzhan's invisible meridian soul power. He had already used all his strength apart from his meridian soul, martial vein, and purple gold heavenly palace. Boom! At this moment, Du Xiaofu's physical strength had been pushed to the extreme. He used all his strength and his aura was domineering. This was the tyrannical fist Dao. Roar! This punch was accompanied by a dragon's roar and a divine elephant's cry. The void rumbled and lightning flashed in the sky. Boom, 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 as the fist flew out, it started from the spot in front of Du Xiaofu. The void exploded as if it was about to collapse. The ground below cracked and the rocks on the mountain collapsed. The terrifying rune ripples were like a tsunami. They swept across the void as if they were about to destroy everything. At this moment, the void violently shook. The invisible tyrannical aura shook the space and caused the void to ripple. It was as if thunder was rumbling between the heavens and earth. At this moment, countless gazes were filled with fear. That kind of confrontation, using strength to break through 10,000 techniques, those two youngsters were both so valiant. Pfft! After a short stalemate, monstrous energy instantly exploded. A terrifying energy storm swept out in all directions. Xue Qianzhan suddenly spat out blood again. The armor on Xue Qianzhan's body also began to crack. His body was sent flying and the blade light dissipated. You'll become my stepping stone. Du Xiaofu didn't stop. His black hair fluttered and golden light rippled in his eyes. His figure appeared in front of Xue Qianzhan like a ghost. At this moment, Du Xiaofu's body was covered in golden light. It was as if he was in the middle of a dazzling sun. Shui Qianzhan wanted to take his life while he was down. At this moment, Du Xiaofu wanted to kill Shui Qianzhan, who was filled with killing intent towards him. Suddenly, an indescribable power appeared in the surrounding space. A terrifying aura surged from afar, almost locking down the entire space. "Brat, you're courting death." At the same time, a sinister and unpleasant voice rang out towards Du Xiaofu. A terrifying aura enveloped the area as a supreme expert interfered in the battle. Today's update is complete. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.